Chapter 251. Soon, the tree of creation reached 400 meters. Then, 500 meters. Finally, it broke through 600 meters. When the tree of creation grew to 600 meters, light surged, and the chaotic chi was twice as dense as before. It was even more turbulent, and the patterns of the great Tao on the tree of creation increased by a lot, and they were even clearer. In the past, there were many Tao patterns on the tree of creation, but they were sparse. Now, the number of Tao patterns doubled. The number of leaves on the tree of creation also doubled, and the Tao patterns on the leaves combined to form the second stage of the immortal skywood technique. However, Lu Yiping was not in a hurry to comprehend the second stage of the immortal skywood technique. Instead, he continued to integrate the tree pieces. Soon, the tree of creation grew to 900 meters. However, the further it grew, the slower it grew. Moreover, when the tree of creation reached 900 meters, the third stage of the immortal skywood technique still did not appear. Finally, the tree of creation broke through 1,000 meters. However, the third stage of the immortal skywood technique still did not appear. Finally, when the tree of creation broke through to 1,200 meters, the third stage of the immortal skywood technique finally appeared. At 1,200 meters, the chaotic aura around the tree of creation rose like a sea. Golden light sparkled, and the number of Tao patterns on the tree of creation doubled again. At the same time, these Tao patterns became clearer. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao looked at the tree of creation in front of them. Looking at the chaotic aura around the tree, the Tao patterns on the tree of creation, and the lush leaves that flickered with a mesmerizing light, they could not help but gasp in amazement. This was the top of the top 10 innate spiritual roots. Now, it was finally showing the power of the top 10 innate spiritual roots. The tree of creation in front of them could no longer be called a tree. It was more appropriate to call it a super tree. However, it could not be called a giant tree. Although the tree of creation in front of them was already 1,200 meters tall, it was still much smaller than the divine phoenix tree he had obtained previously. The divine phoenix tree he had found in the battlefield of the gods was much bigger than the tree of creation in front of them. The divine phoenix tree was still in its infancy. Therefore, if this tree of creation really matured, who knew how many miles it would reach? One had to know that the tree of creation stood between heaven and earth, connecting heaven and earth to 10,000 worlds. One could imagine how big it was. Legend had it that the experts of the primordial age ascended along the tree of creation, and took several years to reach the heavenly world. One could imagine how high his achievements were. Compared to the one in the past, the 1,200 meters in front of him was just a small dot. When the creation tree grew to 1,200 meters, more than half of the 3,000 tree pieces had been used. Lu Yiping continued to fuse the remaining tree pieces. When he finished fusing the last tree piece, the creation tree finally grew to more than 1,500 meters. Based on the growth of the tree, the fourth layer of the immortal skywood art would only appear when it reached 2,400 meters. After Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao set up a barrier around the city, they sat cross-legged under the tree and began to comprehend the second and third levels of the immortal skywood technique. Although he hadn't cultivated the first level to perfection, he could comprehend the second and third level of the mental cultivation method. Once he cultivated the first level to perfection, he could directly break through to the second level. The higher the level of the immortal skywood art, the more complicated and difficult it would be to comprehend. If it were other people, they might not be able to comprehend the second and third level of the mental cultivation method even after hundreds or thousands of years. However, with the assistance of the Great Way of the Good Fortune Jade Disc, Lu Yiping only used a few months to completely comprehend it. During this time, the elites from the various branches of the Purple Demon tribe in the northern wilderness starfield sent over the creation tree pieces. After fusing the 1,000 tree pieces that were sent over, the creation tree had grown to more than 1,900 meters. There were more than 1,900 Tao patterns on the tree body. The leaves of the creation tree were even more luxuriant. As for all the purple demon tribe members, Lu Yiping crushed them all, including the previous leader. After dealing with all the purple demon elites in the northern wilderness starfield, Lu Yiping was not in a hurry to leave. Instead, he continued to cultivate under the creation tree in the underground city. This cultivation lasted for a few years. In these few years, Lu Yiping worked hard to cultivate the immortal sky wood art. He had already cultivated the first level of the immortal sky wood art to the minor completion stage. Although it was only a minor completion stage, Lu Yiping's physical body was more than 10 times stronger than before. Of course, during this time, Lu Yiping did not forget to cultivate the longevity incantation and comprehend the good fortune jade disc. After the creation tree grew to more than 1,900 meters, Lu Yiping's comprehension of the good fortune jade disc under it sped up a lot. His cultivation of the longevity incantation also sped up. After his longevity incantation had broken through to the 49th level, there were no signs of improvement. However, with the help of the Tao in the creation tree, the 49th level of the longevity incantation finally showed signs of improvement. A few years later, the first gourd of the rainbow gourd root in Mount Buzhou, the purple gold gourd, had matured. Therefore, Lu Yiping picked the first purple gold gourd. In these few days, he had refined the purple gold gourd. He discovered that as long as it was an elixir, the quality of the elixir would improve after a few days. Not only could the purple gold gourd improve the quality of elixirs, but it could also absorb enemies into the gourd and refine them cleanly. Of course, there were many other uses. For example, it could absorb chaotic chi and condense it into purple gold chaotic water. Purple gold chaotic water was of a higher grade than star chaotic water. It was a pity that it could not be compared to the spring of life. The purple gold gourd had multiple spaces. Not only did Lu Yiping store all the elixirs from before into the purple gold gourd, but he also stored all the Age of Eternity wine. The ingredients in the Age of Eternity wine were all rare herbs. After the Age of Eternity wine was stored in the purple gold gourd, its quality improved and its taste improved. A few years later, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao left the underground city. Of course, before they left, they took all the treasures in the city. The elixirs and herbs were all stored in the purple gold gourd, while the other items were stored in the cauldron of heaven and earth. Coming out from the underground city, Lu Yiping also left behind an array formation, waiting for the purple extreme demon race and dark borer race experts from other star fields to come. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were not in a hurry. They walked slowly. When Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao passed by an uninhabited city in the Dragon Burial Desert, they discovered that there were people fighting in the city. On one side was a little boy, and on the other side was a nefarious demon race expert clad in purple robes. The little boy looked like he was only 8 or 9 years old. He looked like he was carved from jade and was very good looking. There was a mark between his eyebrows. Seeing this mark, Lu Yiping's heart skipped a beat and he stopped. This child's physique is not bad. Taurus Longjiao looked at the little boy and said in surprise. Chapter 252. According to Taurus Longjiao's experience, the little boy's physique wasn't bad. One could see how strong the little boy's physique was. The little boy's strength wasn't weak. Although he was only 8 or 9 years old, he was already a peak late-stage divine realm expert, just a step away from condensing his godhead and stepping into the true god realm. Many super forces geniuses couldn't reach the divine spirit realm even after several hundred years of cultivation, but this little boy's physique was rare. This physique allowed him to cultivate at an astonishing speed. Moreover, he must have encountered a great opportunity. The nefarious devil tribe expert fighting the little boy was a mid-stage true god realm expert. However, even though this nefarious devil tribe expert was a mid-stage true god realm expert, he was still forced into a difficult situation by the little boy. It was only a matter of time before he was defeated. With a wave of his hand, the little boy sent out thousands of rays of sword chi. The sword chi was astonishing, and the surrounding ruins were reduced to dust. Just as the little boy was about to defeat the nefarious devil tribe expert, 4 people flew over from afar. All of them were clad in purple robes, and their bodies were shrouded in devil chi. Clearly, they were in the same group as the nefarious devil tribe expert. Seeing these people, the little boy became anxious and wanted to flee. However, just as he was about to flee, one of the nefarious devil tribe experts sent him flying back with a punch. Among the 4 nefarious devil tribe experts, 2 of them were late-stage true god realm experts. After forcing the little boy to retreat, the 4 of them arrived and sealed off the little boy's escape route. "Brat, do you think you can still escape?" The leading nefarious devil tribe expert sneered. Saying this, his claw reached out to grab the little boy. The other 4 nefarious devil tribe experts also attacked at the same time. Although the little boy's physique was strong and his battle prowess was high, it was still hard for him to withstand the joint attack of 5 nefarious devil tribe experts. Soon, he was cornered. Seeing this, Lu Yiping walked out. The nefarious devil tribe experts besieging the little boy were surprised to see Lu Yiping and Xiaoyu, but they saw Taurus Longjiao waving the little fish in his hand. Terrifying energy rolled out, and before the 5 nefarious devil tribe experts could react, they were sent flying. The 5 nefarious devil tribe experts cultivated an evil technique that devoured living beings. Thus, Taurus Longjiao didn't show any mercy when he attacked them. Seeing the little boy kill the 5 nefarious devil tribe experts with a wave of his hand, he was dumbfounded. After a while, he came back to his senses. After a moment of hesitation, he walked over to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao and cupped his fists. "Thank you, brothers, for saving my life." His voice was tender, and his eyes were dark. He had a small braid at the back of his head, and his expression was somewhat mischievous. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao looked at the little boy and smiled. "Little friend, which sect are you from?" Lu Yiping asked with a smile. Unexpectedly, the little boy shook his head and said with a serious face, "My mother said that I can't casually reveal my identity to others when I'm training outside." Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao both smiled. This little fellow was rather interesting. "Brothers, could it be that the 2 of you have also come to the Dragon Burial Desert to train?" The little boy asked curiously. Lu Yiping smiled and said, "Yeah, we're also here to gain experience." As they chatted, Lu Yiping found out about the little boy's background. The little boy's name was Tang Bin, and he came from a super force in the Chaos Plane called the Blue Thunder Divine Sect. The Blue Thunder Divine Sect had 76 peaks, and his father was one of the Peak Masters. Tang Bin's father was the strongest among the Peak Masters in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect, Zhongzhong. Therefore, although he was only a Peak Master, his status was second only to the sect chief. The little boy was playful and sneaked out when his parents weren't paying attention. In his own words, he came out to gain experience. Lu Yiping looked at the little boy's tender face and said with a smile, "Coming out to gain experience is a good thing, but you're still too weak. If you didn't run into us today, you would have been in danger." Tang Bin rolled his eyes and said with a smile, "Big brother, you two are very strong, right? Since you're also here to gain experience, why don't we gain experience together?" "Gain experience together?" Lu Yiping smiled. This little guy obviously wanted the 2 of them to be his bodyguards. How shrewd. Tang Bin nodded, "Yeah, I heard from my senior sister in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect that there is an ancient dragon heart in the Dragon Burial Desert. Let's look for it together." Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao exchanged a glance. Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, "Aren't you afraid that we're also bad guys if you come with us to gain experience?" Tang Bin shook his head, "No, I'm not afraid. Both big brothers don't look like bad guys. Moreover, I have the eyes of purification, so I can tell who is good and who is bad." Both of them laughed. "All right." Lu Yiping smiled and said, "But we have to pinky swear. If we're going to gain experience together, you have to listen to us. You're not allowed to run around. Tang Bin nodded heavily, I'm the most obedient. Lu Yiping smiled. If you were obedient, you wouldn't have snuck out of the Blue Thunder Divine Sect. Thus, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the boy, Tang Bin, began their training together. At night, the moonlight shone on the Dragon Burial Desert, creating a unique scenery. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sat around the bonfire, roasting meat. The aroma of the meat filled the air. Lu Yiping took out the all-ages wine from the purple gold gourd and opened it. Instantly, the wine's fragrance was mesmerizing. Although the all-ages wine had only been in the gourd for a short while, the wine's fragrance was already overwhelming. Lu Yiping took a sip and the fragrance penetrated his heart. Tang Bin stared at Lu Yiping's all-ages wine and asked, Big brother Lu, what wine is this? It's so fragrant, can I have a few sips? Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, You're just a kid, why are you drinking wine like an adult? Wait until you're older. Tang Bin said angrily, I'm already an adult. Then, he added, many of the senior sisters and brothers in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect are no match for me. Lu Yiping smiled and threw a small jug over. Tang Bin's face was full of joy. He opened it and took a sip. His whole body felt warm and his eyes widened. Big brother Lu, what wine is this? It's so delicious, and it's even better than many innate divine pellets. This is the all-ages wine, brewed by my master himself. Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, There are 100 kinds of rare herbs in here, each of them is priceless. Tang Bin drank many mouthfuls and suddenly stopped. He looked at Lu Yiping and asked, Big brother Lu, do you have a girlfriend? Lu Yiping was stunned. Then, the kid continued, When you go to the Blue Thunder Divine Sect, I'll introduce my sister to you. She's very pretty. Lu Yiping was speechless. Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, My master has a girlfriend, why don't you introduce her to me? Tang Bin shook his head and said, My sister doesn't like golden retriever types like you. She likes pretty boys like Big brother Lu. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao almost spat out the wine in their mouths. Then, Tang Bin shook his head and said, But it's a pity that Big brother Lu already has a girlfriend. My sister is the #1 beauty in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect. Not only is she the #1 beauty in the Blue Thunder Divine Sect, but she's also one of the most beautiful girls in the Chaos Plane. Together with the Princess of the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace, the 9 Fox Tribe of the Carefree Divine Sect, the 9 Fox Tribe of the 9 Fox Tribe, the Firmament Divine Palace, and the Undead Tribe, they are known as the 6 Great Beauties of the Chaos Plane. Chapter 253. Taurus Longjiao chuckled. Actually, my master doesn't have a girlfriend yet. Tang Bin's eyes lit up as he looked at Lu Yiping. Big brother Lu doesn't have a girlfriend. But then he shook his head. Forget it. I won't introduce Big brother Lu to my sister. Why not? Lu Yiping chuckled. Tang Bin explained, many disciples in the sect are chasing after my sister. She's so annoyed. Later, she said that if you want to marry her, you have to be stronger than her. Taurus Longjiao chuckled. Is your sister very strong? Tang Bin nodded. She's very strong. She's an ancient god with 4 totems. She's also an elite on the Northern Wilderness Divine Leaderboard. My sister's talent is better than mine, and her combat power is higher. A few years ago, my sister had 4 totems. Even my parents couldn't beat her. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were shocked. Tang Bin's body constitution was rare. His sister's talent was better than his. And she had 4 totems. No wonder Tang Bin said his sister was strong. What was an ancient god with 4 totems? If they had totems of the same size, an ancient god with 2 totems could easily defeat dozens of ancient gods with only 1 totem. After entering the ancient god realm, it was extremely difficult to form totems. Many ancient gods couldn't form even one totem in their lifetime because it was not easy to understand the heavenly world's laws. Even if some ancient gods could form totems, they could only form one totem. To be able to form 4 totems, Tang Bin's sister's talent was evident. In the Maha 17 planes, there was a divine leaderboard. The so-called divine leaderboard was self-proclaimed by the Maha 17 planes. On the other hand, the Northern Wilderness divine leaderboard was recognized by all the elites in the Northern Wilderness starfield. There were 10,000 elites in the Northern Wilderness Divine Leaderboard. Anyone who could enter the Northern Wilderness Divine Leaderboard was the strongest of the strongest. Tang Bin continued, there are not many among the younger generation in the Northern Wilderness starfield who can beat my sister. He then looked at Lu Yiping. Big brother Lu, you might be strong, but you're not as strong as my sister. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao laughed. Taurus Longjiao laughed, are you so sure that your sister is stronger than my master? My master is also very strong. Tang Bin looked at Lu Yiping in confusion. Is big brother Lu also an ancient god? Lu Yiping nodded and smiled. You can say that. Tang Bin smiled and said, I didn't expect big brother Lu to be an ancient god as well. However, even if big brother Lu is an ancient god, he won't be a match for my sister. Many ancient gods who have condensed 5 totems aren't a match for my sister. Lu Yiping smiled and did not continue on this topic. He continued to eat and drink. The night passed. The sky gradually brightened. Lu Yiping's group continued their training as they searched for the ancient dragon's heart that Tang Bin had mentioned. While Lu Yiping and the others continued their training, the atmosphere in the star-moon peak of the Firmament Thunder sect was depressing. Didn't I ask you to keep an eye on junior brother? You can't even keep an eye on him. The Star-Moon Peak's peak master, Tang Qing, scolded the disciples in the hall. The disciples in the hall did not dare to raise their heads. Jiang Xian, who was sitting beside Tang Qing, also said angrily, this little brat, when we find him, I will beat his little butt until it blossoms. When the disciples in the hall were being scolded with their heads lowered, a beautiful woman in a white dress walked in. Her skin was as white as snow and she looked like a snow lotus. When the male disciples saw the woman, they greeted her. Jiang Xian saw the woman and walked over. Shui Yao, you're here. She looked anxious. Your little brother is missing. This little brat sneaked out when your father and I were not around. Tang Shuiyao said, Mother, don't worry. I've already contacted my sister Wan Hui and asked her to help find him. We should have news soon. Tianji Commerce was the #1 commerce firm in the Northern Wilderness starfield. When Jiang Xian heard this, she was relieved and said, I hope your little brother is fine. What if something happened to him? Moments later, Tang Shuiyao's communication talisman vibrated. She took it out and a smile spread across her face. Father, Mother, there's news about little brother. Wan Hui said that she found out that little brother entered the Dragon Burial Desert. Tang Qing frowned when he heard this. Dragon Burial Desert. The Dragon Burial Desert was a place where many Archfiend experts cultivated. A while later, Tang Qing and Tang Shuiyao led the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's experts out of the sect and headed towards the Dragon Burial Desert. At this time, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Tang Bin arrived at an underground space in the Dragon Burial Desert. The 3 of them looked at the beating giant heart in front of them. The giant heart was exuding a shocking amount of dragon qi. Tang Bin was excited. Wow, it's really a dragon heart. The senior sisters of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect were telling the truth. Lu Yiping glanced at the dragon heart and started walking around the underground space. Although this dragon heart was good, it was useless to him and Taurus Longjiao. After walking around the underground space, he found some dragon clan materials, all of them golden in color. Subsequently, Lu Yiping had Tang Bin integrate with the dragon heart and use it to break through to the true god realm. Tang Bin had the sacred dragon physique, and this dragon heart was the heart of a 9-clawed golden dragon. Several days later, somewhere in the underground space of the Dragon Burial Desert, rays of light surged and majestic dragon might filled the air. Even if they were extremely far away, they could still feel the strong fluctuations of the dragon's might. A white figure flew over after sensing the dragon might. It was none other than Tang Shuiyao who had entered the desert to look for Tang Bin. When Tang Shuiyao arrived, the surrounding archfiend experts also flew over after sensing the dragon might. Lu Yiping didn't pay attention to the approaching archfiend experts. A short while later, Tang Bin successfully broke through to the true God realm. Above his head, a golden godhead shone brightly. Tang Bin opened his eyes, looking at the golden godhead in the air with joy. The godhead he had condensed was the Dragon Clan's supreme godhead, and it was the king among supreme godheads. Tang Bin retrieved the godhead back into his body. He stood up and bowed to Lu Yiping in gratitude. His young face was full of sincerity. Just as Lu Yiping, Tang Bin emerged from the underground space, a giant devil hand suddenly slammed down on Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Tang Bin. This devil hand was exuding surging devil energy and boundless ancient god realm energy. It belonged to an ancient god. Tang Bin was alarmed. Suddenly, a white figure tore through the void and slashed out with the long sword in his hand. The sword light cut through layers of space, crossing an unknown distance as it slashed down. However, just as the sword light was about to slash down on the devil hand, a finger force pierced through the devil hand and pierced deep into the void. A archfiend expert fell from the void with a hole in his chest. He stared fearfully at Lu Yiping as his body exploded into pieces. The finger force just now was sent out by Lu Yiping. The sword light missed its target and slammed into the ground. A loud boom resounded as a terrifying fissure appeared on the ground, extending far into the horizon. At this time, a white figure whistled through the void, landing in front of Lu Yiping's group. Big sis. Tang Bin's young face lit up with joy when he saw the person who had arrived. The person who had arrived was Tang Shuiyao. Chapter 254. Tang Shuiyao was relieved seeing that her little brother was fine. Her beautiful eyes looked at Lu Yiping in confusion. Just now, she had executed the phoenix slash to kill that devil tribe expert, but this young man's finger force was one step faster than her, killing that devil tribe expert. At this time, Tang Qing and the Azure Thunder Divine Sex experts arrived. Tang Bin was a little apprehensive seeing Tang Qing's arrival. He smiled and saluted Tang Qing, then said, "Father, sister, you came at the right time. This is Big Brother Lu. A few days ago, I ran into several devil tribe experts. It was Big Brother Lu and Big Brother Xiao Jin who saved me." Tang Qing and the Azure Thunder Divine Sex experts looked at Lu Yiping. Tang Bin added, "Also, Big Brother Lu helped me find the ancient dragon's heart and helped me integrate with it. Now, I've condensed my godhead and broken through to the true god realm." Huang Xiaolong summoned his golden dragon sovereign godhead as he spoke. In an instant, majestic dragon might filled the air. Tang Qing and Tang Shuiyao were pleasantly surprised, ancestral dragon godhead. Both of them understood what the ancestral dragon godhead meant. Tang Bin smiled, "Yes, it's all thanks to Big Brother Lu's help. That ancient dragon's heart belonged to a 9-clawed golden dragon." 9-clawed golden dragon. Tang Qing cupped his fists at Lu Yiping with a grateful expression, "Young master first saved my son, and now you've helped him integrate with the ancient dragon's heart and condense the ancestral dragon godhead. Tang Qing can't thank you enough." Tang Shuiyao also expressed her gratitude, "Many thanks, young master." Lu Yiping shook his head, "It's nothing." Tang Bin was visibly relieved seeing that he had successfully diverted his father and sister's attention. He smiled and said, "Father, sister, let's not stand here. Let's go back and talk." He then smiled, "Big Brother Lu saved me and helped me condense the ancestral dragon godhead. I want to invite Big Brother Lu to the Azure Thunder Divine sect as a guest, what do you think? Tang Qing smiled, of course, of course. He then extended a warm invitation to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Lu Yiping said solemnly, Master, then I'll be troubling your sect. Tang Qing smiled and said, Thank you for your hospitality, Master Lu. Then, everyone left and returned to the Azure Thunder Divine sect. Along the way, Tang Bin chuckled, Father, Big Brother Lu is very strong. Didn't you see? There was an ancient god realm nefarious devil expert who wanted to kill us, but Big Brother Lu killed him with a single finger. Tang Qing was shocked. Killing an ancient god with a single finger? Lu Yiping laughed, the other party hasn't condensed a totem yet. Tang Qing nodded. Although he had yet to condense a totem, Lu Yiping was able to kill an evil god that had yet to condense a totem. Lu Yiping had the strength of at least one totem, or even two totems. In this world, the strong were respected. Therefore, after learning that Lu Yiping might be an ancient god who had condensed one or two totems, Tang Qing's expression of gratitude became much more polite. May I know which sect Master Lu is from? At this time, a tall young man behind Tang Qing asked. However, when he asked, he looked at Lu Yiping with suspicion. We are not from the Chaos Plane. We just arrived here. Lu Yiping said indifferently. Tang Qing smiled at Lu Yiping and said, This is my second disciple, Chen Jin. Soon, the group left the Dragon Burial Desert. Half a day later, the Azure Thunder Divine sect was in sight. The Azure Thunder Divine sect was one of the super sects in the Chaos Plane. It was ranked 6th in the Chaos Plane. The sect's surface area was huge, and there were tens of millions of disciples. Their aura was not weak, and many of the disciples were ancient emperors and emperors. One had to know that some ancient emperors and emperors were strong enough to be sect masters in the Shenwu continent. However, in the Azure Thunder Divine sect, they were just servant disciples. Tang Bin smiled and asked, Big Brother Lu, our Azure Thunder Divine sect is impressive, right? You might not know since you just arrived, but our Azure Thunder Divine sect is the 6th strongest sect in the Chaos Plane. Even in the entire Northern Wilderness Starfield, we are ranked 9th. There was a hint of pride on his young face. There were more than 3,000 worlds in the Northern Wilderness Starfield, and there were countless super sections. The Azure Thunder Divine sect was ranked 9th and 6th in the Chaos Plane. Although they had just arrived in the Chaos Plane, Lu Yiping knew about the Azure Thunder Divine sect. Lu Yiping looked at Tang Bin's proud face and smiled, very impressive. Jiang Xian had already received news of Tang Bin's return, and she had been waiting outside with her maids. When she saw Tang Qing, Tang Shuiao, and the rest, she was overjoyed. She went up to Tang Bin to check if he was injured. Mother, I'm fine. Big Brother Lu saved me. Tang Bin said embarrassedly as Jiang Xian looked him up and down. Jiang Xian looked at Lu Yiping and went up to Lu Yiping. She thanked him, Jiang Xian thanks Master Lu for saving my son. On the way back, Tang Qing had already used the message talisman to tell her about Lu Yiping. Madam is too polite. Lu Yiping replied. This Jiang Xian looked very similar to Tang Shuiao, but she was more mature and dignified. Hence, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao entered the Azure Thunder Divine Sect Stellar Moon Peak under Tang Qing's, Jiang Xian, and the rest's invitation. That night, Tang Qing invited Lu Yiping to a banquet, and even took out a treasure comparable to the ancient dragon heart to thank Lu Yiping. Of course, Lu Yiping did not take it. Night fell. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sat cross-legged under the immortal sky with technique and longevity incantation in the palace arranged by Tang Qing. At this time, in the Stellar Moon Peak's main hall, Tang Qing's second disciple Chen Jin said to Tang Qing, Master, this surnamed Lu's identity is unknown, we should be careful. Chen Jin continued, although he saved Junior Brother, it's very suspicious. Junior Brother was besieged by several nefarious devil sect experts, and he saved Junior Brother while passing by. This is too much of a coincidence. Moreover, he and junior brother found the ancient dragon heart, but he wasn't tempted, and instead allowed junior brother to integrate with it. Tang Qing frowned. You're saying that all of this is an illusion, and he wants to gain our trust and good impression, and then sneak into our Azure Thunder Divine sect? That's what this disciple means. Chen Jin said, it's not uncommon for nefarious devil sect experts to sneak into other sects, we must be careful. A few years ago, nefarious devil sect experts sneaked into the Azure Thunder Divine fruit and stole it. Tang Xueyao, who was sitting in the main hall, said, Chen Jin, I think you're gauging the heart of a gentleman with the yardstick of a villain. Your heart is not in the right place, thinking that everyone is the same as you. Chen Jin hesitated, then said, Senior sister, I'm just thinking for the Azure Thunder Divine sect. I think we should investigate this surnamed Lu's identity. Tang Xueyao shook her head. Master Lu saved junior brother, and even helped him break through to the true God realm and condense the ancestral dragon godhead. Yet, we're investigating his identity and suspecting him for no reason. That's a little ignorant. Tang Qing nodded, then we'll listen to Xueyao. He then said to Chen Jin, Master knows you're thinking for the sect, but don't make wild guesses about Master Lu. Chapter 255. Chen Jin didn't dare to disobey. He nodded. After a while, he bowed to Tang Qing, left the hall, and returned to his residence. He thought for a moment, took out a talisman, and crushed it. The next day. The sun was warm. Tang Bin came early to find Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Big brother Lu, let's go. I'll show you around the Azure Thunder sect. Tang Bin pulled Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping had no choice but to follow. When they came out, they met Tang Xueyao. Sister, you came just in time. We're going out for a walk. Let's go together. Tang Bin was delighted to see Tang Xueyao. He took her hand and went out together. Taurus Longjiao followed behind. Thus, Tang Bin held Lu Yiping's hand in one hand and Tang Xueyao's hand in the other. Chen Jin had just come out of his room in the morning and was about to head over to Tang Qing's place to ask about the sex competition when he saw Tang Bin holding Lu Yiping's hand and Tang Xueyao's hand from afar. Chen Jin heaved a sigh of relief. Then, he walked forward and asked Tang Bin, Little junior brother, where are you going? Tang Bin glared at him. Where we go is none of your business. Chen Jin, I know you like my sister, but she doesn't like you. Don't talk to her in the future. Then he said, I know you said bad things about big brother Lu in front of my father last night. If you dare to say bad things about big brother Lu again, I'll punch your little brother. With that, he left with Lu Yiping and Tang Xueyao. Chen Jin stood there, his face red. Tang Xueyao was held by Tang Bin. She said helplessly, Little brother, next time you have to be more polite to your second senior brother. And you can't use vulgarities, okay? Tang Bin said, this Chen Jin has always been annoying. I don't like this shorty anyway. Tang Xueyao was speechless. Then let go of my sister first. After all, it wasn't appropriate for Tang Bin to hold her hand like this. Only then did Tang Bin let go of Tang Xueyao's hand. Then, he smiled at Lu Yiping and said, Big brother Lu, I told you, my sister is very pretty. Look, my sister is very pretty. Lu Yiping and Tang Xueyao were taken aback by Tang Bin's words. Tang Xueyao was a little troubled by her mischievous younger brother. Lu Yiping glanced at Tang Xueyao and smiled at Tang Bin. She is very beautiful. They chatted as they walked. However, most of the time, it was Tang Bin who was asking questions, and Lu Yiping would answer. Tang Xueyao didn't say much. After a while, when the few of them passed by a mountain peak, they saw a large group of disciples of the Azure Thunder Divine sect gathered at the foot of the mountain peak. These disciples are comprehending the Thousand Illusion Sword Steel again, Tang Bin said. Thousand Illusion Sword Steel. Lu Yiping's heart skipped a beat. Tang Bin nodded. Yes, this is the sword steel left behind by the Thousand Illusion Sword Venerable in the ancient times. It was obtained by our Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestor. It contains all kinds of sword intents left behind by the Thousand Illusion Sword Venerable. Some are strong, some are weak, some are level 1, some are level 10, and there are even level 11, 12, and the highest is level 14. Our Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestor placed this steel here for the disciples of our Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong to comprehend. However, after so many years, no disciple has been able to comprehend level 14 sword intents. Tang Bin shook his head. Even my sister could only comprehend level 11 sword intents after so many years. Lu Yiping looked at the Thousand Illusion Sword steel. Of course he knew about the Thousand Illusion Sword Venerable. Not only did he know, but he was also very familiar with him. The Thousand Illusion Sword Venerable was the master of the devil race's king of eternal darkness. When the disciples in front of the sword steel saw Tang Shuiyao, they all stopped and greeted her. An imposing young man walked out from the crowd and smiled at Tang Shuiyao. So it's junior sister Shuiyao. Senior brother Wei Ming. Tang Shuiyao nodded. Tang Bin whispered to Lu Yiping, this Wei Ming is the chief disciple of the Dragon Sword Mountain. Like my sister, he is an ancient god with 4 totems. He was born with the phaseless sword body and has cultivated all of the sword manuals in our Azure Thunder Divine Sect. However, like my sister, he can only comprehend level 11 sword intents. I heard that in our Azure Thunder Divine Sect, only the Sword Ancestor can comprehend level 12 sword intents. The others can only comprehend level 11 sword intents. When introducing the sword intents of the Thousand Illusion Sword Steel, it didn't depend on one's cultivation, but on one's talent in swordsmanship. The higher the talent, the higher the level of sword intents one could comprehend. While Tang Bin was whispering to Lu Yiping, Wei Ming of the Dragon Sword Mountain looked at Lu Yiping. Wei Ming smiled at Lu Yiping and said, this is Master Lu who saved junior brother Tang Bin, right? I heard that Master Lu's finger strength is amazing and killed an ancient god with 1 finger. The disciples of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect looked at Lu Yiping. Killing an ancient god with 1 finger, such strength was outstanding even among the disciples of the Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong. I was just lucky. Lu Yiping said. Wei Ming smiled and said, there is no such thing as luck in this world. Strength is strength. After chatting for a while, Tang Bin, Lu Yiping, Tang Shuiyao, and Taurus Longjiao left the sword steel. Wei Ming returned to the sword steel to comprehend the Thousand Illusion Sword intent. There was a deeper meaning behind why the upper echelons of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect had placed the Thousand Illusion Sword steel here for all the disciples to comprehend. Back then, not only had the ancestor of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect obtained the Thousand Illusion Sword steel, he had also obtained the Thousand Illusion Sword array of the 10 great arrays. However, it was an incomplete Thousand Illusion Sword array. For so many years, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect had been trying to complete the Thousand Illusion Sword array, but they were unable to do so. Only by comprehending the level 14 sword intent in the Thousand Illusion Sword steel could they complete the Thousand Illusion Sword array. Therefore, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect had been hoping for a disciple to comprehend the level 14 sword intent. If a disciple could comprehend the level 14 sword intent and complete the Thousand Illusion Sword array, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's strength would increase greatly with the protection of the Thousand Illusion Sword array. Even if an enemy stronger than the Azure Thunder Divine Sect came, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect would not be afraid. In the ancestral land of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, Sword Ancestor Zhou Can looked at the Thousand Illusion Sword array in front of him. He frowned and scratched his head. The Thousand Illusion Sword array is ever-changing, but where do these changes come from? How do these illusions evolve? At this time, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestor Shi Guangnan walked over and said respectfully, Martial Uncle, Senior Wu Tong of the Undead Clan is here. Hearing this, Zhou Can waved his hand and said, No, no, no. Every time Wu Tong comes, he asks for purple gold chaos water. I don't have enough purple gold chaos water. Shi Guannan smiled bitterly and then retreated. Lu Yiping, Tang Bin, and Tang Shuiyao left the sword steel and walked around casually. However, when they passed by a certain place, the fortune jade disc in his body suddenly vibrated. Lu Yiping was overjoyed and looked ahead. There was a fortune jade disc in the Azure Thunder Divine sect. Little Bin, what's the place in front? Lu Yiping asked casually. Tang Bin looked in the direction Lu Yiping was pointing and said, that's our Azure Thunder Divine sect's main hall. If we go further, we'll reach our ancestral land. Chapter 256. Lu Yiping nodded when he heard Tang Bin mention the main hall of the Azure Thunder sect and the ancestral land. Tang Shuiyao said, Master Lu is a guest. We need the sect master's permission to go there, so we can't take Master Lu there. Lu Yiping shook his head. I'm just asking. Then they went back the way they came. When they passed by the sword steel, Wei Ming and the others were still comprehending it. Tang Shuiyao said, no one has been able to comprehend the 14th level sword intent for so many years. I don't know when a disciple will be able to comprehend it. Maybe even after 1,000,000 years, no disciple will be able to comprehend it. Lu Yiping sensed that Tang Shuiyao was implying something. He asked, Miss Tang, do you mean that the disciples of the Azure Thunder sect are comprehending the sword intent here in the hope of comprehending the 14th level sword intent one day? Tang Shuiyao explained, in addition to the 1,000 illusion sword steel, we also got an incomplete 1,000 illusion sword formation. Oh, the 1,000 illusion sword formation, one of the top 10 ancient formations. Lu Yiping said. Tang Shuiyao was surprised. I didn't expect Master Lu to know about it. Then he said, that's right. It's the 1,000 illusion sword formation, one of the top 10 ancient formations. Unfortunately, it's incomplete. Over the years, our Azure Thunder sect has been trying to find a way to complete it. Lord Sword Ancestor said that if someone can comprehend the 14th level sword intent of the 1,000 illusion sword steel, they can complete the 1,000 illusion sword array. However, after so many years, no one has been able to comprehend the 14th level sword intent. Even our Lord Sword Ancestor can only comprehend the 12th level sword intent. This wasn't a secret, so Tang Shuiyao didn't have any scruples and told Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping asked, didn't the Azure Thunder sect invite a sword formation expert to complete the 1,000 illusion sword formation? Tang Shuiyao said, yes. We also invited Senior Unparalleled Sword Emperor. Even Senior Unparalleled Sword Emperor was unable to complete the 1,000 illusion sword formation. What Senior Unparalleled Sword Emperor said is the same as the Sword Ancestor. To complete the 1,000 illusion sword formation, one must comprehend the level 14 sword intent in the 1,000 illusion sword steel. The Unparalleled Sword Emperor was one of the best swordsmen in the Northern Wilderness Starfield. Taurus Longjiao shook his head. He can't even complete the 1,000 illusion sword formation and he dares to call himself the Unparalleled Sword Emperor. Tang Shuiyao's face changed. You can say this in front of me. If you say it in front of others, you'll get into trouble. He is the 10th on the Northern Wilderness Starfield. He is the 10th on the Northern Wilderness Starfield. Of the Unparalleled Sword. He is the 10th on the Northern Wilderness Northern Starfield. The 10th on the Starfield. Top. The Dragon Horn Golden Bull laughed and said, 10th on the divine list again. He remembered that Yuan Jiahong, the Lord of 9 Stars, used to be 10th on the divine list. 10th on the divine list again. Tang Shuiyao looked at Taurus Longjiao in confusion. She didn't understand what Taurus Longjiao meant. Lu Yiping smiled. My subordinate speaks without thinking. Miss Tang, please don't mind him. Tang Shuiyao said, the disciples of the Firmament Palace will be here in a few days. You can't mention this in front of them. She added, the Unparalleled Sword Emperor has taught the Palace Master of the Firmament Palace before. He also has a good relationship with some of the patriarchs of the Firmament Palace. The disciples of the Firmament Palace are coming? Lu Yiping asked. Tang Bin interrupted. They are here to spar with the disciples of the Firmament Thunder sect. Then he added, there's a top genius in this generation of the Firmament Palace. His name is Yang Dingtian, and he has condensed an 80-mile totem. They're here just to show off to us that there's a top genius in their sect. Yang Dingtian. Taurus Longjiao laughed. That's a very domineering name. It even reaches the sky. Tang Bin was stunned. He laughed and said, that's right. Why isn't he called Yang Dingshu, Yang Dingdi, or Yang Dingmu? Tang Shuiyao immediately reprimanded him. Little brother, if you talk nonsense again, you will be grounded for a year. Tang Bin was so scared that he quickly waved his hand. Sister, I won't talk about it. I promise I won't. Taurus Longjiao secretly gave Tang Bin a thumbs up. They returned to Xingyue Peak. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao returned to their palace. It was late at night. Lu Yiping told Taurus Longjiao that he was going out. He immediately flashed out of Xingyue Peak and headed towards the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect. Today, he could only sense that the Good Fortune Jade Disc was in the direction of the main hall and the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect. He didn't know the exact location. Therefore, he came to the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect first. Lu Yiping blended into the space and became completely transparent. When he took a step, there was no energy fluctuation. Even if Lu Yiping passed by an ancient god with 12 totems, the other party wouldn't be able to see or sense him. Therefore, Lu Yiping easily passed through the heavy patrols of the disciples of the Firmament Thunder sect and arrived at the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect. After arriving at the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect, the Good Fortune Jade Disc in Lu Yiping's body shook even more violently. However, after arriving at the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect, Lu Yiping confirmed that the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc wasn't in the main hall of the Firmament Thunder sect, but in the ancestral land behind the main hall. Lu Yiping didn't hesitate and headed towards the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect. As the sixth existence in the Chaos Plane, the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect was naturally heavily guarded. There was even a formation set up by the Patriarch of the Firmament Thunder sect. However, Lu Yiping walked into the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect without any hindrance. He sensed the existence of the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc. Lu Yiping headed towards the depths of the ancestral land. Finally, he arrived in front of a palace in the depths of the ancestral land. In front of the palace, a fat old man was standing there with a long face. He stared at the sword formation on the ground and muttered, "How can the 1,000 illusory sword formation reach 1,000 changes?" Although he knew that the 1,000 illusory sword formation had 1,000 attack changes, it was another matter to complete the 1,000 illusory sword formation. Lu Yiping knew that this fat old man should be the Firmament Thunder sect sword ancestor. Zhou Ken. Ignoring the fat old man, Lu Yiping blended into space and passed by Zhou Ken. He then passed through the palace's entrance and entered the palace. This was Zhou Ken's palace. As soon as an outsider entered the palace, they would trigger the restrictions and Zhou Ken would sense it. However, when Lu Yiping arrived at the depths of the palace, Zhou Ken, who was guarding outside, didn't sense anything. Lu Yiping arrived at the depths of the palace and pushed open the treasury's door. Inside the treasury were multicolored lights. Zhou Ken had collected all kinds of treasures. In the end, Lu Yiping came to an inconspicuous jade box in the corner and opened it. Inside was the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc. Looking at the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc, Lu Yiping was overjoyed. He had finally found the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc. After putting away the fourth Good Fortune Jade Disc, Lu Yiping pondered for a moment and took out a piece of ancient essence jade. Using his fingers as a knife, he carved it into the shape of the Good Fortune Jade Disc and placed it back into the jade box. Chapter 257. Placing the jade box back to its original place, Lu Yiping walked out of the treasury. When he walked out of the palace gates, he noticed that Zhou Ken was still staring at the incomplete thousand illusion sword array, deep in thought. Lu Yiping pondered for a moment, then flicked his finger, sending a ray of light into Zhou Ken's mind, knocking him out. Afterwards, Lu Yiping arrived before the incomplete thousand illusionary sword formation. With a wave of his finger, 1,000 formation talismans containing sword intent flew out and entered the incomplete thousand illusionary sword formation. Soon, the incomplete thousand illusion sword array was repaired. Rays of light circulated endlessly, and layers of sword intent permeated the air. Since he had taken away the good fortune jade disc, repairing the thousand illusion sword array could be considered as compensation to the Blue Thunder Sword School. However, after repairing the thousand illusion sword array, Lu Yiping did not leave immediately. Instead, he searched Zhou Ken's memories. He wanted to know how Zhou Ken had obtained the good fortune jade disc. After obtaining the information he wanted, Lu Yiping left the Blue Thunder Divine Sect's ancestral land and returned to the Star Moon Peak Palace. As for Zhou Ken, he would wake up the next morning after taking a nap. Back at the Star Moon Peak Palace, Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the Tree of Creation. He took out the fourth good fortune jade disc and began to refine it. With the first 3 good fortune jade discs, refining the fourth good fortune jade disc was much easier. Soon, Lu Yiping had refined the fourth good fortune jade disc. Above Lu Yiping's head, auspicious clouds swirled, and the fourth good fortune jade disc joined the first 3 good fortune jade discs, emitting the light of the great Tao. The night would eventually pass. The sky gradually brightened. Zhou Ken slowly woke up. He opened his eyes and shook his head in bewilderment. Did he fall asleep unknowingly? With his cultivation, if he didn't want to, he wouldn't be able to sleep for 10,000 years, or even 100,000 years. He abruptly stood up and scanned his surroundings. However, he was dumbfounded when he saw the thousand illusion sword array on the ground. This is. The thousand illusion sword array was repaired. The thousand illusion sword array that even their Blue Thunder Divine Sect's ancestor failed to repair was repaired. He rubbed his eyes, thinking that he was seeing things. However, no matter how he rubbed it, he could only see the thousand illusory sword formation that had been repaired. After confirming that the thousand illusion sword array had been completed, Zhou Ken let out the loudest scream he had ever let out. This was a scream of excitement, a scream that could not be suppressed. After Zhou Ken's scream, dozens of figures broke through the air and arrived. Clearly, Zhou Ken's scream had alarmed the other old ancestors in the ancestral land. Not long after, the Star Moon Peak's peak master, Tang Qing, also hurriedly walked out of his palace. What's wrong? What happened? His wife, Jiang Xian, asked curiously. Something's wrong. Tang Qing's face was unprecedentedly solemn. Jiang Xian's heart sank. Someone snuck into the ancestral land last night, Tang Qing said. Did someone sneak into the ancestral land? Jiang Xian subconsciously asked, have you caught that person? Tang Qing's expression was strange. No, the other party quietly knocked out Lord Sword Ancestor and quietly left the ancestral land. No one noticed. What? Jiang Xian turned pale with fright. Lord Sword Ancestor was one of the strongest old ancestors in the Firmament Thunder sect. He had condensed 9 totems. How could he be knocked out by someone quietly? And the other party quietly left the ancestral land without noticing. Their ancestral land had layers upon layers of grand formations and restrictions. Moreover, there were grand formations and restrictions set up by their ancestral master. How could the other party pass through them without a sound? At this time, Jiang Xian realized the seriousness of the matter. A sect's ancestral land was quietly sneaked in and then quietly left. This was a big problem. Lord Sword Ancestor has summoned the sect master and the peak masters to the main hall. I'll go to the main hall first. Tang Qing's face was solemn. He immediately flew to the main hall. When Tang Qing arrived at the main hall, he found that the old ancestors of the Firmament Thunder sect, the sect master and the peak masters had all arrived. The peak masters who did not come were also rushing over. Seeing a black-haired elder sitting on the throne in the center of the hall, Tang Qing was stunned and quickly sat down. This black-haired old man was Sword Ancestor Zhou Can's eldest senior brother. He was also the strongest person in the Azure Thunder sect, Su Teng. Although he had yet to condense 10 totems, he was already at the peak of 9 totems. Soon, everyone had arrived. In the hall, no one dared to make a sound. The atmosphere was solemn. Su Teng glanced at the crowd and said, "I believe everyone has heard about what happened last night." Everyone sat and listened. Last night, someone sneaked into our ancestral land and quietly left. He also knocked out junior brother Zhou Can, Su Teng said. Junior brother Zhou Can woke up this morning and found that someone had repaired the 1000 illusion sword array. What? Tang Qing and the peak masters were shocked. Although they had heard that someone had sneaked into the ancestral land, they did not know that the 1000 illusion sword array had been repaired. Therefore, they only knew about it now. Old ancestor, has the 1000 illusion sword array really been repaired? The Firmament Thunder sect master, Fan Sheng, could not believe it. They had tried every method to repair the 1000 illusion sword array in the past million years. But someone had actually sneaked into the ancestral land and repaired it? Everyone found it unbelievable. Su Teng smiled and said, "Yes, it has been repaired. I heard junior brother Zhou Can say this in the morning, but I didn't believe it either. I repeatedly checked the 1000 illusion sword array, and it has indeed been repaired." The 1000 illusion sword array being repaired was naturally a joyous occasion for the Firmament Thunder sect. With a complete 1000 illusion sword array, the Firmament Thunder sect's defense would increase greatly. Zhou Can smiled and said, "When I woke up this morning and found that the 1000 illusion sword array had been repaired, I also shouted excitedly. Until now, I still want to shout excitedly." He had racked his brains to repair the 1000 illusion sword array, and even pulled out a few strands of his hair. Now that the 1000 illusion sword array was repaired, how could he not be excited? How could he not be surprised? This was also a load off his mind. Otherwise, he would not be able to rest in peace until he died. In the main hall, everyone laughed joyfully, including Tang Qing. Zhou Can said again, "But, why did this mysterious elite help our Firmament Thunder sect to repair the 1000 illusion sword array? Moreover, in the northern wilderness starfield, who has the ability to sneak into our ancestral land and leave without a sound? And make me fall asleep unknowingly?" Everyone in the main hall quieted down. Su Teng's face was solemn. Junior brother Zhou Can has condensed 9 totems, and he is ranked 23rd on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking list. Even the top 10 on the Divine ranking list cannot make him fall asleep quietly. Even the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace Lord cannot do it. Everyone was shocked. It was easy to defeat a person, but to make a person fall into a deep sleep without being aware of anything was a little terrifying. Could it be that existence from the Nether Sea? Suddenly, an ancestral patriarch spoke. Nether Sea. Hearing this ancestral patriarch mention the Nether Sea, everyone's face changed. Even Su Teng and Zhou Can were no exception. "It's cold outside, is there anyone who wants to tip me? I'm begging for monthly votes." Chapter 258. It shouldn't be the one from the Nether Sea. After a while, Su Teng shook his head. That person has nothing to do with our Azure Thunder sect. He hasn't left the Nether Sea for many years. Why would he come to our Azure Thunder sect and help us fix the 1000 illusionary sword array? If it's not him, who else could it be? Who else in the northern wilderness starfield has such strength? One of the ancestral patriarchs asked. Su Teng said, "No matter what, this mysterious elite has no ill intentions towards our Azure Thunder sect. This is a good thing." Everyone nodded. The other party did not hurt anyone when he sneaked into the Azure Thunder sect's ancestral land. He even helped the Azure Thunder sect to fix the 1,000 illusionary sword array. Just as everyone in the main hall was talking about the ancestral land, the disciples of Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong were also talking about it. What had happened in the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect had been spread among the disciples. Lu Yiping had refined the fourth good fortune jade disc. When he came out of the palace, he saw Tang Bin, Tang Shuiao, Chen Jin, and the other disciples discussing something. Big brother Lu. Tang Bin saw Lu Yiping and went up to him. What's wrong? What happened? Lu Yiping asked when he saw everyone's expression. Tang Bin lowered his voice and said to Lu Yiping, something big happened last night. Someone sneaked into the ancestral land of our Azure Thunder sect. Lu Yiping knew that it was about this. Tang Bin continued, I heard that even the sword ancestor was knocked out. Lu Yiping smiled and said, who did you hear this from? Tang Bin smiled. My father told my mother this morning. Then your mother told you and you told everyone? Lu Yiping asked. Tang Bin chuckled. Is there a branch of the Tianji Chamber of Commerce nearby? Lu Yiping asked Tang Bin. Tang Bin asked, Big brother Lu, are you going to buy something? No, I want the Tianji Chamber of Commerce to help me find something. Lu Yiping said. Naturally, he wanted the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce to help him find the Creation Tree Block, the Buzhou Mountain Stone, and even the Creation Jade Disc. Although the Creation Tree had grown to more than 1,900 meters, it was still too far away from the Creation Tree that connected to the myriad worlds. It was not even 1 in 10,000. Mount Buzhou was only about 60 meters high. Therefore, he had to let Jianshu and Mount Buzhou grow as soon as possible and find other Creation Jade Discs as soon as possible. The Horizon Chamber of Commerce's branch is not far from here. Tang Bin said, my sister has a good relationship with Sister Wan Hui of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce. I'll ask my sister to take us there later. Wan Hui? Lu Yiping asked. Big Sister Wan Hui is the daughter of the Tianji Chamber of Commerce's president. Tang Bin said with a smile, although Big Sister Wan Hui isn't one of the Chaos Plane's 6 great beauties, she is still very beautiful. Moreover, she wears very sexy clothes. Lu Yiping smiled. You little brat, do you know what sexy is? Of course I know, Tang Bin said with a straight face. A moment later. You guys are going to the Horizon Chamber of Commerce? Tang Shuiyao was astonished. Tang Bin nodded and shook Tang Shuiyao. Sister, I haven't seen Big Sister Wan Hui for a long time. Please take us there. Tang Shuiyao said helplessly, when we reach the Horizon Chamber of Commerce, you are not allowed to look around. I promise I won't look around. Tang Bin swore. Soon after, they left the Azure Thunder Divine sect and headed toward the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's branch. I wonder what Master Lu wants to know. Tang Shuiyao asked curiously on the way. Lu Yiping described the Creation Tree, Mount Buzhou's Stone, and the Creation Jade Disc. After listening, Tang Shuiyao recalled and said, I seem to have seen that kind of stone in the Horizon Chamber of Commerce. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were stunned. The Horizon Chamber of Commerce had Mount Buzhou's stone. Moreover, my sister Wan Hui's residence also has it. Tang Shuiyao said, she used this kind of stone to build a fake mountain in her residence. Using Mount Buzhou's stone to build a fake mountain and put it in the residence for viewing. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were speechless. If the Miss of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce knew that the fake mountain in her residence was built with Mount Buzhou's stone, what would she think? After learning that Wan Hui's residence had Mount Buzhou's stone, they went straight to her residence. On the way, Tang Shuiyao contacted the other party. My sister said that the Horizon Chamber of Commerce has a lot of this kind of stone. Tang Shuiyao said, other than the fake mountain in her residence, even the fake mountain in her father's residence is built with this kind of stone. She then added, however, if you want to buy this kind of stone, I'm afraid it won't be cheap. My sister said that this kind of stone came from the Desolate Age and has an extraordinary origin. Someone once offered 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones to buy this stone, but their Chamber of Commerce refused to sell it. 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones. Tang Bin clicked his tongue and was dumbfounded. Although he rarely used money, he knew the concept of 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones. Tang Shuiyao said, moreover, it was the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode Master who wanted to buy it. The Northern Wilderness Divine Abode Master offered 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones, but the Horizon Chamber of Commerce refused to sell it. Therefore, it would not be easy for Lu Yiping to buy these stones. Although she and Ruan Hui of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce were sisters, friendship and business were business. They could not break the rules of the Chamber of Commerce. The Northern Wilderness Divine Abode Master offered 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones, but the Horizon Chamber of Commerce refused to sell it. If they sold it to Lu Yiping at a lower price, what would the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode Master think when he found out? Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, since the Horizon Chamber of Commerce refused to sell it to us for 1 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones, we'll give them 1 trillion. When Tang Bin heard this, he almost fell off his mount. 1 trillion. His black eyes stared at Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. He just realized that Big Brother Lu seemed to be very rich. Tang Shuiyao was also shocked. An hour later, Lu Yiping and the others arrived at the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's Ruan Hui residence. They saw the sexy big sister Ruan Hui mentioned by Tang Bin and the fake mountain made of Buzhou mountain stones. The fake mountain was neither big nor small, and it was made of hundreds of Buzhou mountain stones. Ruan Hui had already heard about Lu Yiping's intention from Tang Shuiyao, so she did not beat around the bush with Lu Yiping. She said, Master Lu, I've already told my father about your intention. My father said that if Master Lu wants to buy these stones, he'll need 30 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones. Including your father's? Lu Yiping asked. Ruan Hui nodded. Lu Yiping flicked his finger, and a spatial ring flew out. Everyone saw that the spatial ring was filled with piles of heaven-grade spirit stones, and they could not see the end of it. Tang Bin looked at the endless pile of heaven-grade spirit stones, and he sucked on his pinky so hard that it made noises. Tang Shuiyao and Ruan Hui were also stunned. In the end, Lu Yiping directly moved the fake mountain from the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's residence. As for the fake mountain in the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's president's residence, he had someone send it over, but it would take a few days. The kind of jade disc that Master Lu wants to ask about, I know someone who has a piece. Ruan Hui said after a while. Chapter 259. Oh. Lu Yiping's spirits were lifted when he heard that. Although Jianshu and Mount Buzhou were important, the most important thing to him was the celestial disc. The celestial disc was the foundation of his life. It's with the chief of the Northern Wilderness Divine Prefecture. Ruan Hui did not hide the truth. The chief of the Northern Wilderness Divine Prefecture. Lu Yiping said. Yes. Ruan Hui said, I saw the chief wearing a celestial disc. It should be the celestial disc you're talking about. Speaking of this, he added, however, this jade disc is carried by the chief of the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion. It seems like he values it a lot. I'm afraid he won't sell it to you. Lu Yiping said, everything has a value. As long as he could bring out something that the chief was interested in, it would not be difficult to exchange it for the fifth celestial disc. Ruan Hui knew what Lu Yiping meant. She shook her head and said, there's almost nothing that can move the Northern Wilderness Immortal Government Headmaster. Also, from what I know, the Northern Wilderness Immortal Government Headmaster has left Northern Wilderness Starfield for quite some time. He's not here? Lu Yiping asked. Yes. No one knows where he went. However, the Northern Wilderness Divine Prefecture needs him. So, he shouldn't be gone for too long. Ruan Hui said. Lu Yiping nodded and asked a few more questions. She answered everything she knew. Lu Yiping did not hold back. Before he left, he gave her 100 drops of stellar chaos water. Just the fact that she could tell him the whereabouts of the fifth celestial disk was worth more than 100 drops of stellar chaos water. Wan Hui looked at the 100 drops of stellar chaos water in her hand and was stunned. 100 drops of stellar chaos water was not a small number even to her, the young lady of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce. Tang Xueyao stared at the 100 drops of stellar chaos water. These days, she had also been looking for star chaos water. However, even the Horizon Commerce Chamber, the #1 commerce chamber in the northern wilderness starfield, found it difficult to find star chaos water. This was because star chaos water could only be produced after countless years. Every drop used was 1 drop less. Even if there were elites in northern wilderness starfield, they would not sell them. Most of them would keep them for their own use. Tang Bin was equally excited. He stared at the 100 drops of star chaos water and exclaimed, "Wow! Master Lu, do you still have any star chaos water?" Wan Hui was stunned for a moment before she hurriedly asked Lu Yiping, "Can you sell some to our Chamber of Commerce?" "There's more." Lu Yiping smiled. "But I don't plan to sell it. I don't lack spirit stones." Wan Hui was startled. Her eyes were filled with disappointment. She smiled and said, "That's true. Even I wouldn't sell such a treasure. However," Lu Yiping said, "if your Chamber of Commerce can help me find more of these stones and tree pieces, I can exchange them with star chaos water." Wan Hui's expression brightened and her eyes lit up. "Really? Really?" A jade bucket appeared in Lu Yiping's hand. The jade bucket was filled with star chaos water. In the past, he used to use buckets to water his trees. That was why he stored the star chaos water in the jade bucket. Of course, the star chaos water in this jade bucket was only a drop in the ocean. When he passed through the layers of space in the Milky Way and found the source of the Milky Way, he found a pond of star chaos water. If all of it were to be stored in this jade bucket, it would be enough to fill more than 100,000 buckets. Looking at the half-meter-tall jade bucket in Lu Yiping's hand that was filled to the brim with star chaos water, Wan Hui's breathing quickened. Her chest heaved up and down. Tang Bin could not take his eyes off her. Tang Xueyao was also staring at the jade bucket in Lu Yiping's hand. That jade bucket looked like the most beautiful jade bucket in the world. Lu Yiping smiled, "If your Chamber of Commerce can find more of these stones, I'll give you 10 drops of star chaos water per cubic meter. Same goes for those tree blocks." Wan Hui's face lit up at Huang Xiaolong's words, "Good, we will do our best to find these stones and tree blocks for Master Lu. 10 drops per cubic meter. 10,000 cubic meters, that's 100,000 drops." Wan Hui suddenly regretted her decision. If she had known, she would not have sold the stones to Lu Yiping. Instead, she would have exchanged them with Lu Yiping for star chaos water. Taurus Longjiao noticed everyone's excitement as they looked at the jade bucket in Lu Yiping's hand. He said, "Master and I usually drink this star chaos water to quench our thirst when we're thirsty. The taste is just so. Wan Hui, Tang Bin, and Tang Xueyao were dumbfounded. Drink it to quench their thirst? With star chaos water? Tang Bin obviously did not believe it. Lu Yiping smiled, "Actually, Xiao Jin is right. Drinking too much of this star chaos water is a little boring." Wan Hui, Tang Bin, and Tang Xueyao were at a loss for words. There was someone who disliked the taste of star chaos water. Drinking too much of this star chaos water was indeed boring. Therefore, in the past few years, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao had been drinking the higher-grade purple gold chaos water. Now, Jianshu could produce an endless stream of chaos aura every day, and his purple gold gourd could absorb the star chaos water and condense it into purple gold chaos water. Therefore, Lu Yiping was not worried about running out of purple gold chaos water. The purple gold chaos water tasted much better than the star chaos water. Before leaving, Tang Bin smiled at Wan Hui. Big sister Wan Hui, you haven't hugged little Bin Bin in a long time. I want to hug him. Wan Hui noticed that this little brat's gaze was not right. He kept staring in front of her, and her face turned red. The last time she hugged this little brat, his face kept burrowing into her arms. Tang Shuiyao glared at her younger brother, saying, "You've grown up. There are differences between men and women, yet you keep asking big sister Wan Hui to hug you. Don't you know shame?" Tang Bin said, "Father and mother both said that one can only be considered an adult at 18 years old. I'm not even 9 years old yet." Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao laughed. Although they had only known each other for a few days, the two of them knew very well that this little brat was mischievous. Seeing that Tang Bin was still unwilling to give up, Tang Shuiyao was so angry that she grabbed him by the ear and left with Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. "Big sister, my ear is about to be broken by you." On the way, Tang Bin shouted for help. Only then did Tang Shuiyao let go. Tang Bin approached Lu Yiping, smiling, "Big brother Lu, is the star chaos water really that bad to drink? I heard some senior sisters say that it's very tasty, like the nectar of the immemorial heavenly court." Lu Yiping smiled. How could he not know what this little brat was thinking? However, he was not stingy. A jade bottle appeared in his hand. Inside it were 100 drops of star chaos water. Tang Bin was stunned, stuttering, "Big brother Lu, is this for me?" Tang Shuiyao was also stunned. Lu Yiping nodded, smiling, "Children are still growing. They need to eat and drink well." Eat and drink well. Tang Bin's eyes were filled with tears. He was touched. "Big brother Lu, you're my biological big brother. You're even closer to me than my biological big brother. Seems like you're not your biological big brother." Taurus Longjiao squinted and smiled. Chapter 260. Tang Bin chuckled, "In the future, you and big brother Lu are both my big brothers." Taurus Longjiao laughed, his 2-meter-tall body patted Tang Bin's shoulder, "All right, big brother will take care of you in the future." He then took out a blood ginseng from his spatial artifact. "Big brother doesn't have anything good, so this is a greeting gift for you. Dragon blood ginseng." Tang Bin and Tang Shuiyao exclaimed in shock. A dragon blood ginseng that had turned completely golden. Earlier, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao had found the master of myriad gods' cultivation dwelling. The vast plains in front of the cultivation dwelling were filled with all kinds of spiritual herbs, divine flowers, divine trees, and divine fruits. This dragon blood ginseng was one of them. Tang Bin had the sacred dragon physique and the ancestral dragon godhead, so this dragon blood ginseng was just right for him. These things were useless to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Even if they ate them, they would just chew on them. Just like the star chaos water, it was useless to them, just like drinking water to quench their thirst. Moreover, now that the creation tree had grown to over 1,900 meters tall, Lu Yiping no longer needed star chaos water to water it. Of course, other than finding this kid pleasing to the eye, Lu Yiping gave Tang Bin the star chaos water because Tang Bin had brought him to the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, where he had obtained the 4th Fortune Jade Disc. After returning to the Stellar Moon Peak, Lu Yiping took out the Buzhou Mountain Stone he had obtained and began to integrate it. After integrating with the Buzhou Mountain Stone from Wan Hui's residence, the Buzhou Mountain Stone had grown to over 80 meters tall. When the Horizon Commerce Hall's president's residence was delivered, the Buzhou Mountain Stone should be able to break through 100 meters. At the same time, Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the creation tree and began to comprehend the grand Tao contained in the 4th Fortune Jade Disc. The 4th Fortune Jade Disc also contained 100 grand Tao, and the most powerful ones were the Devouring Grand Tao and the Sealing Grand Tao. The Devouring Grand Tao could devour all things in the world, and after comprehending the Sealing Grand Tao to perfection, it could even seal heaven-opening grade formations and treasures. Taurus Longjiao was also cultivating diligently. Although he couldn't comprehend the immortal sky would art from the tree of creation, he still benefited a lot from observing the great Tao patterns on the tree trunk and the heaven-opening runes on the tree leaves. Just like Lu Yiping, he felt that his strength was still insufficient, so he worked even harder to cultivate. While Lu Yiping and Jian Wushuang were cultivating, Tang Bin was carrying the dragon blood ginseng and 100 drops of star chaos water as he happily walked towards the main hall of Star Moon Peak, intending to share this good news with his parents. Tang Shuiyao followed behind her brother, Tang Bin. She was also happy for her brother. Just as the two of them were making their way to the Stellar Moon Peak's main hall, Chen Jin said to Tang Qing and Jiang Xian, "Master, this Lu fellow brought little junior brother out to play again. This person has evil intentions and little junior brother often spends time with him. If this goes on, I think he will lead little junior brother astray sooner or later. I think he's plotting something from junior brother. We can't let this kind of person stay on our Stellar Moon Peak." When Tang Qing and Jiang Xian heard this, they were about to speak when they suddenly saw Tang Bin, who had arrived at the door, rushing in angrily. He directly threw a punch at Chen Jin's lower body. Chen Jin dodged in fright. Tang Bin was furious. "Chen Jin, I warned you last time. If you dare to speak ill of big brother Lu in front of my father again, I will kick your little brother out. I think you're the one with evil intentions, Shorty. You've spoken ill of big brother Lu time and time again. Do you think I don't know what you're thinking?" Tang Bin rushed over and punched him again. Chen Jin didn't dare to fight back and could only dodge. He hurriedly explained, "Little junior brother, you misunderstood. I'm doing this for your own good." Tang Qing saw that Tang Bin was about to attack again and shouted, "Little Bin, that's enough." Tang Bin saw that his father was angry and stopped. He took out the golden dragon blood ginseng. Once the dragon blood ginseng was taken out, its medicinal scent filled the entire main hall. A completely transformed dragon blood ginseng. Tang Qing and Jiang Xian were shocked looking at the dragon blood ginseng in Tang Bin's hand. "Little Bin, where did you get this dragon blood ginseng?" Tang Qing asked anxiously. Tang Bin said, "This was given to me by big brother Xiao Jin." Xiao Jin's big brother. Tang Qing and Jiang Xian exchanged a glance. "You mean Lu Yiping's subordinate?" Tang Qing didn't believe it. Tang Bin nodded and took out the jade bottle. Opening the jade bottle, 100 drops of star chaos water emitted sparkling starlight as chaos energy filled the air. "These 100 drops of star chaos water were given to me by big brother Lu," Tang Bin said. Tang Qing and Jiang Xian were dumbfounded. Chen Jin also stared blankly at the star chaos water and dragon blood ginseng. Indifferent, Tang Bin stared at Chen Jin. "You said big brother Lu wants something from me. Then, may I ask, what does big brother Lu want from me? Is it the spiritual herbs on me? Or the spiritual water on me?" The spiritual herbs on him were trash compared to the dragon blood ginseng. Compared to the star chaos water, the spiritual water on him was also trash. Chen Jin stuttered, "He's definitely plotting something." Tang Bin snorted coldly, "You joined my Stellar Moon Peak because you're after my Stellar Moon Peak Stellar Moon spiritual water, right?" Chen Jin's face flushed red. Jiang Xian said to Tang Qing, "He saved Xiaobin, helped Xiaobin integrate with the ancient dragon heart, and now he's giving us such precious dragon blood ginseng and star chaos water. We should properly thank him." Tang Qing nodded, "Yes, we should properly thank him." Night fell. Lu Yiping was sitting cross-legged under the creation tree, comprehending the fourth fortune jade discs devouring Grand Tao and sealing Grand Tao when a black figure whistled through the air, passing through the blue lightning god Zhongzhong's disciples' patrol and arrived at the Stellar Moon Peak. When this black figure arrived at the Stellar Moon Peak and passed by Tang Qing and Tang Shuiao's palace, Tang Qing and Tang Shuiao did not notice anything amiss. In the end, the black figure arrived at Tang Bin's palace. Just as the black figure was about to enter Tang Bin's palace, a shocking suction force came from the void. Before he could react, the scenery in front of him changed, and he arrived at a different space. When he arrived at this different space, he was dumbfounded when he saw the thing in front of him. In front of him was a towering tree that was close to 2,000 meters tall. Dao runes flickered on the tree's body, and enchanting characters flickered on the lush tree. Chaos chi roiled around the tree. The ground he was standing on was sparkling and translucent, and every grain of soil seemed to be primordial golden sand. Under the tree, a young man in blue robes sat cross-legged, and beside him was a big golden ox. Dao runes flickered on the young man's body, and the golden ox was surrounded by divine dragons and lightning gods. Right at this time, the young man raised his hand and pulled the black figure in front of him. When the black figure realized that his strength had been sealed by the young man, he turned pale with fright. He was very clear about his own strength. Only those old guys in the ancestral land of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect could suppress him. However, even if those old guys in the ancestral land of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect could suppress him, it was impossible for them to seal his strength silently. Who was this young man? Chapter 261. Who are you? The black figure asked Lu Yiping with unconcealable fear in his eyes. At the same time, he couldn't help but raise his head to look at the towering tree in front of him. This was definitely the Chaos Divine Tree. He wasn't sure which kind of Chaos Divine Tree it was, but it was definitely born from chaos. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to produce Chaos Chi. Moreover, the Chaos Chi was so dense that it was suffocating. He was currently standing under the tree, surrounded by Chaos Chi, and he felt extremely comfortable. Lu Yiping saw that the black figure was still coveting his Chaos Divine Tree even at this time. Thus, he clenched his fist and crushed the black figure's soul and godhead. Huang Xiaolong was too lazy to ask who the black figure was and what he wanted to do to Tang Bin. After destroying the black figure's soul and godhead, Lu Yiping casually flicked his finger, and the black figure's corpse was ejected out of the Chaos Divine Tree's space. In the end, the black figure's corpse landed on the square in front of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's main hall. Lu Yiping ignored the corpse and continued to cultivate with Taurus Longjiao. He had yet to comprehend the Grand Tao in the second and third pieces of the Fortune Jade Disc. Now, there was a fourth piece of the Fortune Jade Disc. He had to seize the time to comprehend it. Since Lu Yiping had ejected the black figure's corpse without making a sound, no one in the Azure Thunder Divine Sect noticed it. However, a moment later, when a patrolling disciple passed by the square, he saw a black figure lying on the ground. He was astonished and went over to take a look. He was so frightened that he immediately reported it to the higher-ups. Soon, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect chief, Fan Sheng, led a group of grand elders and elders to the square. He stepped forward and lifted the black figure's mask. When the Azure Thunder Divine Sect chief, Fan Sheng, saw the black figure's appearance clearly, and he exclaimed in shock, "Blood Fiend Archdevil." Hearing Sect Chief Fan Sheng's words, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's experts' faces tightened. "Sect Chief, is that really Blood Fiend Archdevil?" One of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's Grand Elders couldn't help asking in shock. Blood Fiend Demon Sovereign was a super great demon of the Chaos Dimension. He had committed all sorts of crimes and killed countless experts. He was extremely powerful and had already condensed 8 totems. But now, he died in the square in front of the main hall of the Zhonglei Divine Sect. That's right, it's Blood Fiend Demon Venerable. Fan Sheng, the sect master of the Firmament Thunder Divine Sect, said with certainty, back then, the sect master of the Free and Unfettered Divine Sect, the patriarch of the 9th Fox clan, and dozens of experts besieged the Blood Flame Demon Venerable. In the end, the Blood Flame Demon Venerable escaped. I have seen his face, and I recognize him. And there's a gray mole between his eyebrows. Everyone took a closer look and saw that there was indeed a gray mole between the eyebrows of the corpse. Fan Sheng pondered and said, "This Blood Fiend Demon Venerable must have infiltrated our Azure Thunder Divine Sect and was killed by someone." Everyone looked at each other. Could he have been killed by Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the other old ancestors? A grand elder guessed. In the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, only Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the other 9 totem ancient God realm experts could kill the blood flame demon Venerable. But, why didn't we hear any sounds of fighting earlier? Another grand elder asked. Everyone was puzzled. Based on the blood flame demon Venerable's strength, if he was killed by Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the others, it would require a fierce battle. However, the sect was completely calm just now, there was no sound of fighting. This matter is of great importance, I will report it to Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the other old ancestors. Fan Xing said solemnly. He immediately crushed his communication talisman to report to Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the others. Soon, more than a dozen figures flew out from the ancestral land. It was obvious that the ancestors inside the ancestral land were alerted. In the blink of an eye, Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the others arrived at the scene. It's indeed the blood flame demon Venerable himself. Su Teng said solemnly after inspecting the corpse, his soul and godhead were directly crushed by someone. In front of the other party, the blood flame demon Venerable couldn't resist at all. Everyone was shocked to hear that. Even with the blood flame demon Venerable's strength, he couldn't resist at all. One could only imagine how terrifying this person's strength was. Even Su Teng, who was at the peak of the 9 totem ancient god realm, couldn't directly crush the blood flame demon Venerable's soul and godhead. Could it be that those with the 10 totem ancient god realm killed the blood flame demon Venerable and then threw his corpse into our Azure Thunder Divine Sect's main square? One of the ancestors guessed. Zhou Can shook his head, the blood flame demon Venerable's blood is still warm. It's obvious that he was just killed. He then added, maybe that expert is still in our Azure Thunder Divine Sect. What? Everyone was on high alert after hearing that. Su Teng's eyes flickered, Junior Brother Zhou, are you saying that there is an expert with the 10 totem ancient god realm in our Azure Thunder Divine Sect? But, such existences are in the top 10 of the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking. If they were in our Azure Thunder Divine Sect, we would recognize them. Fan Sheng, the sect leader of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, said confidently, and there is no need for such existences to hide their identities in our Azure Thunder Divine Sect. Zhou Can suddenly said, have you all forgotten what happened last night? Last night, the 1000 illusion sword array was destroyed. Everyone was shocked. Do you mean that the blood flame demon Venerable was also killed by that mysterious person last night? Fan Xing asked in surprise. Zhou Can nodded, it's highly possible. But, this is just my guess. Then, should we search the entire sect now? Fan Xing asked. Su Teng shook his head, no need. He has no ill intentions towards our Azure Thunder Divine Sect. There is no need for us to search for him. It's not good to anger him. Zhou Can said, Senior Brother Su Teng is right. Since he has no ill intentions towards our Azure Thunder Divine Sect, there is no need for us to search for him. Moreover, even if we search with all our might, I'm afraid we won't find anything. He looked at the blood flame demon Venerable's corpse and said, however, we have to find out why the blood flame demon Venerable sneaked into our Azure Thunder Divine Sect. Immediately, Su Teng ordered the sect leader of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, Fan Sheng, to investigate. Everyone dispersed. As for the blood flame demon Venerable's corpse, Su Teng asked someone to hang it on a stone pillar in the square in front of the sect. Hence, early in the morning, Tang Bin knocked on the door of Lu Yiping's palace. He then pulled Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao to the square in front of the sect. Little Bin, why did you pull us to the square in front of the sect so early in the morning? Taurus Longjiao asked. Tang Bin smiled, the blood flame demon Venerable sneaked into our Azure Thunder Divine Sect last night and was killed by a mysterious expert. His corpse is now hanging on a stone pillar in the square. Many disciples have gone to take a look. Let's go take a look too. Soon, the 3 of them arrived at the square. The square was already filled with Azure Thunder Divine Sect, Zhongzhong's disciples. The blood flame demon Venerable's corpse was fixed on a stone pillar by divine power. There were no visible injuries on the surface. The disciples were pointing at the corpse and discussing. Tang Bin arrived and saw that his sister, Tang Shuiyao, was also there. He then pulled Lu Yiping over. "Master Lu, you're here." When Tang Shuiyao saw Lu Yiping coming over, she went up to greet him. "Sister, who killed the blood flame demon Venerable?" Tang Bin couldn't help but ask. Chapter 262. Tang Shuiyao said, "I heard that the mysterious expert who snuck into the ancestors' land last night completed the 1,000 illusion sword array." The 1,000 illusion sword array was completed? Tang Bin was shocked. Countless experts of the Firmament Thunder sect had worked hard for countless years but still failed to complete the 1,000 illusion sword array. Now, it was completed by a mysterious expert. However, what did this have to do with the Blood Fiend Demon Master's death? The Blood Fiend Demon Master must have been killed by that mysterious expert. Tang Shuiyao said. Tang Bin's eyes widened. "Is the Blood Fiend Demon Master very famous?" Lu Yiping asked. Tang Bin was shocked. Tang Shuiyao said, "Of course. He is an ancient god expert who has formed 8 totems. Each of them is 50 miles long. His combat strength is amazing. He is ranked in the top 100 on the Northern Wilderness Divine list. A few years ago, our sect master joined forces with the sect master of the Godly Wandering sect and the clan leader of the 9 Fox tribe to kill the Blood Fiend Demon Master, but he escaped. In that battle, the Firmament Thunder sect, the Godly Wandering sect, and the 9 Fox tribe lost many ancient gods." Tang Bin said, "In 2 days, the disciples of the Firmament Palace will come to spar. Let them see the Blood Fiend Demon Master's corpse and kill their arrogance." But at this moment, the ground suddenly trembled. Tang Shuiyao frowned. "The demon-suppressing tower is moving again. This is the 3rd time this year." "Demon-suppressing tower?" Lu Yiping asked. Tang Bin explained, "In the ancient times, our founder master suppressed a demon. For so many years, this demon has been suppressed in the demon-suppressing tower of the Firmament Thunder sect. However, after so many years, the formation set up by our founder master has gradually weakened. In the past few decades, the demon has been trying to break out of the tower. Just now, it was the vibration caused by his attack on the demon-suppressing tower. However, every time he attacked, he would suffer a backlash from the formation, so he did not dare to attack too often." Lu Yiping nodded. Tang Shuiyao was deeply worried. But today, this demon has already attacked the demon-suppressing pagoda for the 3rd time. If this continues, I'm afraid he'll be able to break free in a few decades. I've heard that this demon is an ancient god who has surpassed the 10 great totems. Once he gets out of the tower, it will be a disaster for our Zhanglei sect. Taurus Longjia was astonished. It has surpassed the 10 great totems. Even in ancient times, there were very few ancient gods who had more than 10 totems. It was extremely difficult to break through from 9 totems to 10 totems. Therefore, the number of people on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking who had 10 totems could be counted with 2 hands. Surpassing 10 totems was 100 times, 1,000 times more difficult. Tang Shuiyao nodded. According to my father, this demon has already condensed 11 totems. Moreover, he cultivates the boundless devil art, which gives him an extremely long lifespan. That's why he's still alive. In ancient times, he was a disciple of the Big Dipper Divine Palace. A disciple of the Big Dipper Divine Palace. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were stunned. Tang Shuiyao saw Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's reaction and did not think much of it. She said, "This person's master seems to be the goddess Luo Shui of the Big Dipper Divine Palace." Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were stunned. Luo Shui's disciple. Wasn't that Che Peng? Che Guohua, whom they had found in the Divine Land, was Che Peng's descendant. Since he was a disciple of the Big Dipper Divine Palace, why did he fall into the demon path? Lu Yiping asked. Tang Shuiyao shook her head. I don't know. She continued, all these years, the Sword Ancestor and the others have been trying to repair the ancestral formation in the demon-suppressing pagoda, but the results have been minimal. First, the materials are missing. Second, the ancestral formation is too complicated. No one can understand it. After a while, the group left the square. In the evening, Tang Qing hosted a banquet and invited Lu Yiping to thank Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao for taking care of Tang Bin. At the banquet, Tang Qing said to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, this Tang has a lot of experience in cultivation. If the two of you have any questions about cultivation in the future, you can ask me at any time. Tang Qing had thought about it all day. He wanted to thank Lu Yiping, but Lu Yiping did not accept the things he gave him. Therefore, he thought of this method to guide Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao in their cultivation to express his gratitude to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. When Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao heard this, they did not know whether to laugh or cry. Tang Qing wanted to guide them. Peak Master Tang Qing is too polite, Lu Yiping said with a smile. Jiang Xian, who was sitting beside Tang Qing, said with a smile, Master Lu, you don't have to be polite with your Uncle Tang in the future. If you have any questions about cultivation, you can ask him or Shuiyao. Uncle Shuiyao. Lu Yiping glanced at Tang Shuiyao and said with a smile, Miss Shuiyao often enters the secret territory to cultivate. We don't want to take up Miss Shuiyao's time. Tang Bin said to Tang Qing, Father, why don't you and the sect master give 2 tokens and let Big Brother Lu and Xiao Jin enter the secret territory to cultivate? Tang Qing nodded. Okay, I will talk to the sect master tomorrow. As long as the sect master of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect agreed, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, who were guests of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, could also enter some places in the secret territory to cultivate. Lu Yiping said there was no need, but Tang Qing insisted. Lu Yiping had no choice but to let the other party have his way. After the banquet, Lu Yiping and Tang Jiao returned to the palace. Back in the palace, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao headed straight for the demon-suppressing pagoda. The demon-suppressing pagoda was not in the ancestral land of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, but in a valley to the north of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. The valley was guarded by layers of formations and experts of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, but Lu Yiping and Tang Jiao went straight through the formations and through an extremely long cave tunnel, arriving at the underground of the demon-suppressing pagoda. Underground, there was a world of fire. Lava spewed out in front of them, and in the center of the lava world was a huge pagoda that was hundreds of feet tall. The pagoda was locked by 8 unusually thick iron chains, which were branded with layers of formations and runes. The iron chains were inserted into the surrounding ground, connecting with the entire earth. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao arrived at the underground and sensed the monstrous demonic aura in the demon-suppressing pagoda. The outside of the cave and the valley were guarded by experts of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. The experts outside only came down to check once a day, so there were no experts guarding the underground. The two of them stepped into the air, passed through the space of the formation of the 8 iron chains, passed through the gate of the demon-suppressing pagoda, and entered the demon-suppressing pagoda. The space inside the demon-suppressing pagoda was not small, about 100 square meters. In the center of the pagoda, there was an 8 seals formation. In the center of the formation, a skinny old man sat cross-legged. The old man had crimson hair, and his whole body was full of demonic aura. Even an ancient god with 10 totems would not dare to approach him. Who is it? After Lu Yiping and Tang Jiao came in, they did not conceal their aura, so the old man was immediately alerted. He suddenly stood up, and his demonic aura filled the sky. But when he saw Lu Yiping, he suddenly froze. Chapter 263. The skinny old man looked at the blue-robed young man walking over in disbelief. You are impossible. Who are you? The skinny old man was clearly agitated. You're Luo Shui's disciple, Che Che Peng. Lu Yiping looked at the skinny old man with crimson red hair, ignoring the other party's monstrous demonic flames as he walked over with Taurus Longjiao. Although the other party's appearance had changed greatly, Lu Yiping could still sense the power within the other party's bloodline essence. The skinny old man's body trembled hearing this. "You are Lu Yiping." Lu Yiping said indifferently. "Lu Yiping." Che Peng's eyes widened. "Impossible, who are you?" Speaking of this, the demonic flames around his body surged, and 11 totems soared into the air behind him. 11 totems intertwined behind him, boundless power rushed out, and demonic might swept through the world. Great demonic palm. Che Peng abruptly struck out a palm at Lu Yiping. The power of the 11 totems merged into his palm, and a terrifying demonic palm pressed down on Lu Yiping. This demonic palm was at least 10,000 times stronger than the combined power of Zhong Yuan, Wu Li, Aina, and the 11 totems at the Red Mist Mountain range. Facing this demonic palm, Lu Yiping only casually flicked his finger, causing the demonic palm to dissipate. Che Peng, on the other hand, was sent flying backwards as if he had suffered a heavy blow, crashing into the walls of the demon-suppressing tower. The 11 totems behind him actually stopped in midair, losing their light as if they were completely sealed. Che Peng struggled to get up, and found that he couldn't sense the 11 totems. He looked at Lu Yiping in horror. There was actually someone who could seal the totems of the ancient god realm. "You're really the Lord Ancient God?" He was bewildered. Lu Yiping threw a token to the other party. Che Ziping caught the token, and his hands trembled when he saw the token. In his excitement, he knelt down. "Big Dipper Divine Palace disciple Che Ziping greets the Lord Ancient God." Lu Yiping waved his hand and an invisible force lifted Che Peng up. Looking at the emaciated Che Peng in front of him, Lu Yiping sighed. Che Peng had been a handsome man in the past, but now he had become like this. However, he could see that Che Peng's chi and blood had dried up, and his lifespan was nearing its end. That was why his appearance was gradually aging. At this rate, Che Peng could only live for 100 or 200 years at most. Lu Yiping summoned the Divine Tree of Life. The Divine Tree of Life flew above Che Peng's head, and its life force poured into Che Peng's body like a waterfall. Che Peng's withered body began to change. His withered skin became lustrous, and his withered muscles began to recover. Even Che Peng's red hair was gradually turning black. Che Peng's cloudy eyes regained their clarity. In the end, Che Peng's vitality recovered and he became a middle-aged man in his 30s or 40s. Che Peng had been suppressed in the demon-suppressing pagoda all these years. Even though he had entered a state of suspended animation by circulating the boundless devil art to prolong his life force was still constantly flowing away. But now, his vitality had recovered to the state it was in before he was suppressed in the demon-suppressing pagoda. His chi and blood were as abundant as the sea. Che Peng was excited and pleasantly surprised. He thanked Lu Yiping again. Lu Yiping let him get up and put the Divine Tree of Life back into his body. He said, "You've consumed a divine medicine that can increase your lifespan." Che Peng respectfully replied, "Yes, my lord. In the past, I obtained a great opportunity and swallowed 2 million-year-old 9-colored divine mushrooms." Lu Yiping nodded. If Che Peng hadn't swallowed 2 million-year-old 9-colored divine mushrooms, his lifespan wouldn't have been so long. Even if he had swallowed a 1 million-year-old 9-colored divine mushroom, his lifespan wouldn't have been so long. It seemed that Che Peng was only able to condense 11 totems because of the 9-colored divine mushroom's power. "Why did you fall into the demonic path?" Lu Yiping asked, "Where's your master?" Che Ziping answered, "Back then, the Big Dipper Divine Palace was embroiled in internal strife. On top of that, my master was disheartened and left the Big Dipper Divine Palace. She said that she didn't want to stay in the northern wilderness starfield anymore. As for where she went, I don't know. After she left, the Big Dipper Divine Palace was destroyed." I also left the Big Dipper Divine Palace and obtained the boundless demonic art in the Nether Prison's eternal demon domain. After that, I came to the Chaos Plane and met the Azure Thunder Divine Sex Master. That year, the Azure Thunder Divine Sex Master died in the hands of the boundless demonic lord. When he found out that I cultivated the boundless demonic art, he attacked me. After that, I was sealed in the demon-suppressing tower, unable to see the light of day for 1,000,000 years. Che Zipping sighed as he recalled the days where he couldn't see the light of day for 1,000,000 years. Let's go. I'll bring you out first. Lu Yiping said. He then released a ball of energy that wrapped around Che Zipping. He then brought Che Zipping through the demon-suppressing tower and returned to the Xingyue Peak Palace with Taurus Longjiao. Before leaving, Lu Yiping set up an illusion array in the demon-suppressing tower. Even if the experts of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect came down to check, they wouldn't be able to see that Che Zipping had left the demon-suppressing tower. The next day, Che Zipping, who was dressed elegantly, pretended to come to the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. He claimed to be Lu Yiping's subordinate and said that he was looking for Lu Yiping. The Xingyue Peak disciples then brought him in. Tang Qing and the others didn't suspect anything. Che Zipping then stayed by Lu Yiping's side. A few days later, Tang Qing and his wife, Jiang Xian, were discussing the Firmament Palace's disciples coming to spar in 2 days. A Xingyue Peak disciple came in to report that the president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce, Wan Zhen, was outside and wanted to visit Lu Yiping. The president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce? Tang Qing and Jiang Xian were shocked. The Horizon Chamber of Commerce was the #1 chamber of commerce in the Northern Wilderness starfield. The president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce, Wan Zhen, was highly respected and usually lived in seclusion. It was difficult for many sect masters to meet him. Why would he come to visit Lu Yiping today? Yes, other than the president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce, old Jiang of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce is also here. The disciple quickly said. What, old Jiang is here too? Tang Qing suddenly stood up. Old Jiang was the #1 expert of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce and ranked 13th on the divine list. He was even stronger than the sword ancestor, Zhou Kan. Such an existence was following the president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce to visit Lu Yiping. Quick, quick, invite the president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce and old Jiang. Tang Qing said excitedly. Brother Qing, don't be silly. The president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce and old Jiang are here. We have to report to the sect master and the sword ancestor. Jiang Xian said. Tang Qing slapped his forehead and said, yes, yes, I will report to the sect master now. The president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce and old Jiang had personally come to the Firmament Thunder sect. As a peak master, it would be rude of him to welcome them. Immediately, Tang Qing crushed the message charm and hurriedly reported to the sect master of the Firmament Thunder sect, Fan Sheng. At the same time, he hurried to the Firmament Thunder sect's main hall. Just as he rushed to the main hall, he saw the sect master of the Firmament Thunder sect, Fan Sheng, leading a group of grand elders out of the main hall. Chapter 264. Sect Chief. Tang Qing greeted. Do you know why President Skyline and old Jiang are looking for Lu Yiping? Fan Sheng asked. He knew about Lu Yiping. Yesterday, Tang Qing had come to ask him for a token to enter the secret territory. This token was for Lu Yiping and his subordinates. However, he did not agree yesterday. I don't know yet. Tang Qing said, the Star Moon Peak's disciples said that President Skyline and old Jiang are here to visit Lu Yiping. When I heard that, I quickly reported it to the sect chief. As for the reason, I didn't say. The Azure Thunder Divine Sect's Punishment Hall Master snorted. Could it be that this surnamed Lu has committed some crime and offended the Skyline Commerce Hall? That's why President Skyline and old Jiang are here to punish him. He added, if that's the case, it will affect our Azure Thunder Divine Sect. Tang Qing, as the Peak Master of the Star Moon Peak, you won't be able to escape the blame. Other than the various peaks, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect also had various halls. Each hall master was on equal footing with the other peak masters. The Punishment Hall master had always been at odds with Tang Qing. Tang Qing snorted, "Chang Guang, is there something wrong with your head? President Skyline and Old Jiang are here to visit." The Punishment Hall master choked on his words. "Both of you, stop talking." Fan Xing frowned. Tang Qing and Chang Guang stopped. Although the two of them were at odds with each other, they knew their limits. Fan Xing led the group to the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's entrance. On the way, Fan Sheng was guessing the purpose of President Skyline and Old Jiang's visit. To be able to attract the attention of President Skyline and Old Jiang, it was definitely not a small matter. What was this Lu Yiping's background? Soon, Fan Sheng and the group of Azure Thunder Divine Sect's experts arrived at the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's entrance and saw President Skyline and Old Jiang. However, they didn't expect that other than President Skyline and Old Jiang, there were more than a dozen experts from the Skyline Commerce Hall. Moreover, several of them were experts on the God ranking list. Fan Sheng and the group quickly went up to greet them. "Greetings to President Wan and Senior Jiang." Fan Sheng and the group hurriedly greeted. Horizon's president, Wan Zhen, and Old Jiang nodded. "Sect Master Fan, we actually didn't come here for anything." Horizon's president, Wan Zhen, smiled and said, "A few days ago, Master Lu bought some things from our Chamber of Commerce. We are only here to deliver the items. Also, we would like to discuss some business matters with Master Lu." Fan Sheng and the others, who had been trying to guess Horizon's intentions, were surprised. "Give something?" Everyone was curious as to what item was worth Guild Leader Horizon, Elder Jiang, and the others personally delivering it. Fan Sheng invited everyone from the Horizon Chamber of Commerce into the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. He also invited the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's president Wan Zhen and Elder Jiang to the main hall. Wan Zhen shook his head. "There's no need to go to the Blue Thunder main hall. We're just here to deliver something to Master Lu and discuss some business." Hearing that, Fan Sheng could only accompany Wan Zhen, Old Man Jiang, and the others to the Star Moon Peak. Seeing Tang Qing's puzzled expression, Wan Zhen smiled and said, "Brother Tang Qing, when your daughter returned a few days ago, didn't she tell you that Master Lu bought something from our Chamber of Commerce?" Due to Tang Shuiyao and Wan Hui's relationship, Wan Zhen and Tang Qing knew each other. Tang Qing shook his head and said, "No, she only said that she went to the Horizon Chamber of Commerce. She didn't mention anything." Wan Zhen smiled and said, "A few days ago, Master Lu spent 30 trillion heaven-grade spirit stones to buy a batch of stones from our Chamber of Commerce." Hearing that, everyone who had been listening to Wan Zhen nearly spat out the spiritual water they had drunk the previous night. 30 trillion. Tang Qing, Fan Sheng, and the others felt their hearts tremble. Even if the Azure Thunder Divine Sect was one of the top 10 superpowers in the Chaos Plane, it was impossible for them to take out 30 trillion. Moreover, it was used to buy stones. What kind of stones were they, to be so precious? Wan Zhen said, "These stones are used to build a fake mountain in my residence." Everyone nearly lost their balance. Using 30 trillion to buy a fake mountain in Wan Zhen's residence. Only now did everyone understand why Wan Zhen wanted to personally deliver the stones. Wan Zhen probably didn't trust anyone else to deliver something worth 30 trillion. However, everyone was more curious about what kind of business Wan Zhen wanted to discuss. Old Jiang's visit was most likely related to the business Wan Zhen wanted to discuss. While everyone was guessing, Wan Zhen's group arrived at the Star Moon Peak's main hall. Jiang Xian, Tang Shuiyao, and the Star Moon Peak's disciples were already waiting at the main hall to welcome them. Everyone entered the main hall and took their seats. Tang Qing stood up and informed everyone that he was going to personally invite Lu Yiping over. When Lu Yiping came out, he wasn't surprised to learn that Horizon Chamber's president Wan Zhen had personally delivered the Buzhou mountain stones. Subsequently, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Che Ziping followed Tang Qin to the main hall. Along the way, Tang Qin looked at Lu Yiping as if he was looking at a walking mountain of heaven-grade spirit stones. When Lu Yiping arrived, everyone's gaze fell on the blue-robed figure. Seeing Lu Yiping's arrival, Wan Zhen did not put on airs and stood up. Seeing Wan Zhen stand up, no one dared to remain seated. Only the God ranking list's 13th ranked old Jiang remained seated. After greeting Lu Yiping, Wan Zhen waited for Lu Yiping to sit down, then took out the spatial artifact that contained the Buzhou mountain stones and handed it to Lu Yiping. "Master Lu, all the stones in my residence are here." Lu Yiping opened the spatial artifact to take a look. He nodded and placed all the stones into the Buzhou mountain space, allowing the mountain to merge with them. Wan Zhen smiled. "I heard from Wan Hui that Master Lu entrusted our Chamber of Commerce to continue searching for these stones and tree blocks for you. Based on 1 cubic meter, 10 drops of star chaos water per cubic meter, is that right?" 10 drops of star chaos water per cubic meter. Fan Sheng was stunned, while Tang Qin and the rest looked at Lu Yiping in shock. Everyone could tell from Wan Zhen's words that this Lu Yiping had a lot of star chaos water on him. Lu Yiping said, "That's right." At this moment, Wan Zhen took out a spatial divine artifact and opened it. It was filled with tree chunks. They were building tree chunks, and there were probably 3,000 to 4,000 of them. Lu Yiping had already sensed the building tree blocks on Wan Zhen's body, but seeing that Wan Zhen had so many, he was overjoyed. Wan Zhen smiled. "Young master, are these tree blocks the kind of tree blocks you're looking for?" "That's right, they are indeed the kind of tree blocks I'm looking for." Lu Yiping smiled. "Before coming here, I've already calculated. There are a total of 3,677 tree blocks, roughly 6,400 cubic meters." Wan Zhen smiled. Lu Yiping took out one of the jade buckets containing the star chaos water. When the jade buckets were taken out, the hall was filled with specks of starlight and chaos energy. No one could take their eyes off the jade buckets. Even the experts from the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce who came with Wan Zhen were shocked. Although Lu Yiping's jade buckets weren't big, they were filled to the brim with star chaos water, at least 300,000 drops. 300,000 drops of star chaos water were stored in an ordinary jade buckets and taken out by Lu Yiping. After Lu Yiping took out the jade buckets, he casually flicked his finger and 64,000 drops of star chaos water flew out from the jade buckets. They were then stored in a jade bottle and landed in front of Wan Zhen. Everyone held their breaths. They were all experienced people, but this was the first time they saw such a transaction. Swallowing star chaos water for cultivation was a luxury for ancient gods. Thus, they were reluctant to consume a single drop of star chaos water. But now, Lu Yiping took out 64,000 drops of star chaos water with a wave of his hand. Tang Qin finally understood what his son, Tang Bin, meant when he said that Lu Yiping was very rich. Wan Zhen received the jade bottle with a smile on her face. She placed all the building tree blocks in front of Lu Yiping. At this time, old Jiang, who was sitting at the side, suddenly spoke. "I heard that Master Lu is looking for a type of jade disc, is that right?" He then continued, "I wonder how many drops of star chaos water Master Lu intends to use to buy that jade disc." Chapter 265. Oh. Lu Yiping perked up at the mention of the fortune jade disc. "Do you have that kind of jade disc?" Lu Yiping asked Elder Jiang. However, the fortune jade disc in his body did not react. It was obvious that Elder Jiang did not have one. Hearing Lu Yiping address him as Elder Jiang frowned and said, "That's right, I have that kind of jade disc. I have one piece, but I don't have it on me. If Master Lu can offer me a price that can tempt me, I can have someone deliver it to you now." Lu Yiping immediately took out the second bucket of star chaos water and placed it on the floor in front of him. When the second bucket of star chaos water was placed on the floor, the starlight on the floor became even brighter, and the chaos aura became even denser. Tang Bin could no longer hold himself back. Holy sh*t. No one paid any attention to Tang Bin's holy sh*t. Everyone was staring at the second bucket of star chaos water. Tang Shuiao could not hide the shock in her eyes. She recalled what Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao had said about drinking star chaos water. Everyone in the hall stared fixedly at the 2 buckets of star chaos water in front of Lu Yiping. Some even fantasized about pouncing on the buckets and drinking until they were full. Seeing Lu Yiping take out the second bucket of star chaos water as if nothing had happened, Wang Zhen sighed inwardly. Although he was the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's president, this was his first time seeing so much star chaos water. Master Lu, Wang Zhen's horizons have been broadened today. Wang Zhen could not help but say. Seeing Lu Yiping take out another bucket of star chaos water, Elder Jiang was equally shocked. His breathing became different. Master Lu, what do you mean? 1 piece of that kind of jade disc can be exchanged for 2 buckets of star chaos water. Lu Yiping said. 2 buckets full of star chaos water. Elder Jiang's hands trembled slightly. Even with his temperament, he could not stop his heart from pounding. However, that bucket of star chaos water, is it not enough? Hearing this, Lu Yiping immediately took out the 3rd bucket of star chaos water and placed it on the floor of the main hall. Everyone was crazily inhaling the dense chaos energy in the palace. Chang Guang, the master of the punishment hall of the Zhonglei divine sect, and some experts sitting there almost slid down from their seats and slid to the front of the 3 buckets of star chaos water. They only felt that the world was too crazy. Normally, if there were a few hundred drops of star chaos water in an auction, everyone would fight until their heads bled. Now, there were 3 buckets of stellar chaos water. 900,000 drops of stellar chaos water were placed in front of them. Lu Yiping looked at the trembling Elder Jiang and said, that's right. 1 jade disc for 2 buckets full of star chaos water. Master Lu, please wait a moment. I'll have someone send the jade disc over right now. Old Jiang couldn't sit still any longer and said anxiously, as if he was afraid that Lu Yiping would regret his decision. Although he knew that the jade disc was an extraordinary item after obtaining it, he hadn't been able to find anything useful after studying it for many years. At this moment, being able to exchange it for 2 buckets of star chaos water was already beyond his imagination. Before coming here, he never thought that Lu Yiping would be willing to exchange 2 buckets of star chaos water for the jade disc. Everyone was curious as to what kind of jade disc Lu Yiping was looking for. Very soon, Elder Jiang sent someone to deliver the jade disc. It was indeed the fortune jade disc Lu Yiping was looking for. As soon as old Jiang arrived at the Star Moon Peak, the fortune jade disc in Lu Yiping's body sensed his arrival. Master Lu, is it this kind of jade disc? After the jade disc was delivered, old Jiang asked Lu Yiping nervously. He was afraid that the jade disc wasn't the kind Lu Yiping was looking for. If that were the case, he would cry. Lu Yiping looked at the nervous old Jiang and smiled, it is this kind of jade disc. He then exchanged 2 buckets of star chaos water with old Jiang for the fortune jade disc. Old Jiang accepted the 2 buckets of star chaos water with a smile on his face. This trip was a great harvest. Lu Yiping picked up the jade disc and showed it to everyone, saying, in the future, if you find this kind of jade disc, you can exchange it for 2 buckets of star chaos water with me. I have this kind of jade disc. At this time, an excited voice sounded. Sword Ancestor Zhou Can, Su Teng, and the others had arrived. Since old Jiang had arrived, Zhou Can, Su Teng, and the others naturally came out to receive him. The one who spoke was Sword Ancestor Zhou Can. Lu Yiping was stunned. Master Lu, please wait a moment, I'll go get the jade disc. The Sword Ancestor, Zhou Can, who had just arrived at the door, spoke immediately. He paid no attention to the others as he hurriedly tore through the sky and left. Soon, Zhou Can returned with a jade box in his hand. It was the jade box that Lu Yiping had found in the hall earlier. Lu Yiping smiled wryly. However, in the end, Lu Yiping also gave Zhou Can 2 buckets of star chaos water. The Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestors and experts were envious of Sword Ancestor Zhou Can. They didn't expect Zhou Can to have the kind of jade disc that Lu Yiping was looking for. At the same time, Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong and the others were overjoyed. Zhou Can was a member of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, and obtaining 2 buckets of star chaos water was undoubtedly a good thing for the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. Master Lu, if we find those tree blocks and stones, we can also exchange them for 10 drops of star chaos water per cubic meter, right? Azure Thunder Divine Sect Chief Fan Sheng asked Lu Yiping politely. That's right. Lu Yiping nodded. Master Lu, if we really find a lot of tree blocks and stones, do you really have that much star chaos water? A god-ranking expert from the Horizon Commerce Chamber asked. Hearing that, Lu Yiping took out a bucket of star chaos water, then a second bucket, a third bucket, and finally 10 buckets of star chaos water. Even the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce's President Wan Zhen, Old Jiang, Su Teng, Sword Ancestor Zhou Can were dumbfounded looking at the 10 buckets of star chaos water. Some of the Azure Thunder Divine Sects and Horizon Commerce Chamber's experts couldn't help swallowing their saliva. Even Tang Qing, the Star Moon Peak's Peak Master, was trembling. Inside the Great Hall, there was no lack of female Grand Elders from the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. These female Grand Elders' eyes shone brightly as they looked at Lu Yiping. Even some of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's female ancestors were glowing when they looked at Lu Yiping. After a long time, Wanzhen finally calmed down. She smiled and asked, Master Lu, you took out so much star chaos water, aren't you afraid that someone will harm you in the future? Old Jiang, Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the rest stared at Lu Yiping. Wanzhen's words were clearly what they were thinking. Lu Yiping smiled and said, Don't worry, this subordinate beside me is a great expert. He pointed at Che Peng, who looked to be in his 30s or 40s, behind him. Everyone turned to look at Che Peng, Old Jiang, Su Teng, and the rest. Wanzhen looked at Che Peng and smiled, May I know how to address this friend? Che Peng. Che Ziping replied nonchalantly. Now that he had recovered his looks, he wasn't worried that Su Teng and the rest would recognize him. Even the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestral master didn't know his real name. Che Peng. Everyone was confused. There didn't seem to be such a person on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking. May I know which sect young Master Che is from? Old Jiang suddenly asked. Chapter 266. My sect was destroyed long ago. Che Ziping shook his head. Destroyed? Everyone was surprised. However, many of them shook their heads inwardly. If Che Ziping was really a great expert, how could his sect be destroyed? Therefore, no one paid any attention to Che Ziping. Everyone started chatting with Lu Yiping. Wanzhen, Elder Jiang, Su Teng, and Zhou Can chatted with Lu Yiping about trivial topics. However, everyone present was listening with great interest. Their gazes drifted towards the 10 barrels of star chaos water from time to time. After chatting for half a day, Horizon Commerce's President Wanzhen led the Horizon Commerce's group away. Before leaving, Wanzhen smiled at Lu Yiping, I will use all the Commerce's resources to find more jade plates, tree trunks, and stones for Master Lu. Lu Yiping smiled, then I will wait for President Ruan's good news. However, Wanzhen suddenly stopped in her tracks, asking Lu Yiping with a smile, May I know if Master Lu is married? In an instant, all the female experts of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect and Horizon Commerce stared at Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping shook his head, I have no such plans at the moment. Fan Sheng, Ding Ning, and the others could feel the tension in their hearts lessening. Wanzhen smiled, a few days ago, Master Lu went to the Horizon Commerce. My daughter, Huan Hui, met with Master Lu and told me that Master Lu was refined and courteous. She kept praising Master Lu in front of me. Hearing this, everyone had a strange expression. Was Ruanzhen trying to matchmake her daughter with Lu Yiping? Ruanzhen was the Horizon Commerce's president. Her daughter, Huan Hui's talent, strength, and beauty were well known in the Chaos Plane. Countless Super Sex young masters had come to ask for her hand in marriage, but no one had ever heard of Ruanzhen nodding. Now, after meeting Lu Yiping for half a day, she had already taken a fancy to Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping smiled. Thank you for your kind intentions, President Wan, but I don't have such plans for the time being. Ruanzhen didn't continue on this topic. He smiled and said, in the future, Master Lu, if you're free, come visit my residence more often. My residence has many good things. Then, he bid farewell to the experts of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce and left. High Thunder Divine Sects Su Teng, Zhou Kan, and the others sat for a while before returning to their ancestral lands to cultivate. After Lu Yiping exchanged for the fifth Good Fortune Jade Disc, he returned to his palace and began refining the fifth Good Fortune Jade Disc. While Lu Yiping was refining the fifth Good Fortune Jade Disc, Jiang Xian and Tang Qing were discussing Lu Yiping in their palace. Jiang Xian said, "What do you think of Lu Yiping?" Tang Qing was taken aback and muttered, "He's humble, polite, calm, steady, profound, and exudes an indescribable aura." It was rare for him to praise someone so much. A few days ago, although Lu Yiping was also at the Starry Moon Peak, he didn't have much contact with Lu Yiping. But today, even when facing Ruanzhen, Old Jiang, Su Teng, Zhou Kan, and the others, Lu Yiping spoke with confidence and composure. Even he couldn't do it. Not to mention him, even their sect leader couldn't do it. Jiang Xian's beautiful eyes were filled with admiration as she said, "I also think that Lu Yiping is very outstanding. It would be great if he could be together with Xueyao. This Lu Yiping is a talent. Not only is he handsome, but he's also rich. Even President Ruanzhen has taken a liking to him." With President Ruanzhen's standards, who among the younger generation in the northern wilderness starfield would be able to catch his eye? Tang Qing smiled bitterly. "I also hope that he and Xueyao can be together. But Xueyao, you know that your daughter's standards have always been too high. Moreover, Lu Yiping is a person who can't be seen through. He might not be interested in your precious daughter." Jiang Xian's eyes widened. "Not interested in my precious daughter? My daughter is one of the 6 beauties of the chaos dimension. She has the looks, talent, and strength. My daughter's suitors could line up to the sea. My daughter might not even be interested in him." Then she continued, "So what if this Lu Yiping is rich? There are many rich people in this world. So what if he's handsome? Handsome can't make a living. Although he's an ancient god, I think he's at most condensed a totem. He can't even beat my daughter, how can he not be interested in my daughter?" Tang Qing was speechless when he saw his wife's agitated state. He smiled and said, "I'm just making a metaphor. Why are you so agitated? It's not even set in stone yet. Let's not get involved in Xueyao's matters. Let's leave everything to fate." At this moment, his transmission talisman vibrated. He took it out and saw that it was from Sect Master Fan Sheng. After reading the contents of Fan Sheng's transmission talisman, Tang Qing's expression became strange. "What's wrong?" Jiang Xian asked. "Yesterday, Sect Master and I gave Lu Yiping and Xiao Jin the tokens to enter the secret territory to cultivate. Sect Master refused and sent me a transmission talisman saying that he wants me to go over and discuss the matter of the tokens," Tang Qing said with a smile. Clearly, Fan Sheng had changed his mind and wanted Tang Qing to go over and receive the tokens. That old fox. Now that he sees Lu Yiping's value, he wants to keep and curry favor with Lu Yiping. Jiang Xian snorted. Tang Qing said, "That's normal. As the sect master, he has to do everything for the benefit of the sect. I'm going to the main hall now. After saying that, he soared into the sky and headed towards the main hall. After arriving at the main hall, Fan Xing had indeed prepared 3 tokens for Tang Qing to bring back to Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Che Peng. Finally, Fan Xing said, Tang Qing, I heard that Master Lu is an ancient god. Tang Qing nodded. For a moment, he didn't understand Fan Xing's meaning. I want to invite Master Lu to be our Azure Thunder Divine Sect's guest Grand Elder. Fan Xing said, go back and convey my and our Azure Thunder Divine Sect's intentions to Master Lu. Tang Qing understood the meaning behind Fan Xing's decision. It wasn't only Fan Xing's decision, but also Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the others' intentions. Because only Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the others could represent the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. After returning to the Star Moon Peak, Tang Qing gave the 3 tokens to Lu Yiping and conveyed Fan Xing's intentions. Azure Thunder Divine Sect's guest Grand Elder. When Lu Yiping heard it, he didn't even think about it and rejected. Sect Master said that Master Lu isn't in a hurry to reply and can consider it for a few days. Tang Qing smiled. There's no need to consider it. Lu Yiping shook his head. It seemed like Fan Xing and the others really thought of him as an ordinary ancient god. After a while, Tang Qing left. Lu Yiping continued to cultivate under the tree of creation. He had already refined the 5th jade disc of creation. Now, he began to comprehend the great Daos in the 5th jade disc of creation. There were also 100 great Daos in the 5th jade disc of creation. The most important ones were the Curse Great Tao and the Destruction Great Tao. Just as Lu Yiping was comprehending the jade disc of creation, the disciples of the Firmament Palace who came to learn from each other arrived at the mountain gate of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. The leading disciple of the Firmament Palace was burly and had a flame pattern between his eyebrows. He was young Ding Tian, who had formed an 80-mile totem. At this moment, the corpse of the Blood Demon Master was still hanging on the stone pillar in the square in front of the sect gate. An ancient god's corpse wouldn't rot even if it was hung for hundreds or thousands of years. Therefore, although a few days had passed, the corpse of the Blood Demon Master was no different from a few days ago. Young Ding Tian looked at the corpse and snorted, Azure Thunder Divine Sect killed the Blood Demon Master and hung him here. Are you showing off to us? Or are you demonstrating your power? Chapter 267. Another disciple of the Firmament Palace, Zhang Guang, said coldly, he just killed a small shrimp with 8 totems. How dare he show it off? He then added, since the Firmament Thunder sect wants to show off, senior brother, you don't have to go easy on them during today's sparring session. Just torture them until they beg for mercy. Zhang Guang was one of the strongest disciples from the Firmament Palace, second only to Yang Dingtian. Indifferent, Yang Dingtian said, don't worry, Fu Pingshan, Wei Ming, Tang Xueyao, and Situ Nan won't be able to escape. I'll challenge them one by one and torture them one by one. I'll torture them until they can't get up. At this moment, a group of Firmament Thunder Sect's experts flew out. This time, the Firmament Thunder Sect's experts came out to welcome the Firmament Palace's disciples, led by Tang Qing. Yang Dingtian, Zhang Guang, and the rest stopped when they saw the Firmament Thunder Sect's experts. When Tang Qing arrived, he frowned when he saw that only Yang Dingtian and 20 people came. Didn't the Sky Temple Master come? In the past, the Firmament Palace's Sky Temple Master would lead the Firmament Palace's disciples to spar. Moreover, the Firmament Palace's disciples would usually send 40 people to spar, but this time, only 20 people came. Yang Dingtian said to Tang Qing, my master can't come because of some matters, so I'll lead the Firmament Palace's disciples to spar. Seeing that Yang Dingtian didn't even address him, Tang Qing was displeased and said, why are there only 20 disciples from the Firmament Palace? Could it be that the rest of the Firmament Palace's disciples can't come because of other matters? Yang Dingtian glanced at Tang Xueyao, Wei Ming, Fu Pingshan, Situ Nan, and the other disciples behind Tang Qing and said, "The 20 of us are more than enough to challenge the 40 of you. There's no need for 40 people." Wei Ming, Fu Pingshan, and the others' faces darkened. "Yang Dingtian, you only have 3 totems." Wei Ming said coldly, "Your cultivation realm is not high, but your tone is arrogant." Yang Dingtian heard Wei Ming's words and said indifferently, "Even if I have 3 totems, I can defeat all 4 totems of your Firmament Thunder sect." Wei Ming, Fu Pingshan, Situ Nan, and the other disciples were furious. Even Tang Shuiyao frowned. Tang Qing looked at Yang Dingtian and his group and spoke indifferently, "Everyone has come from afar. We have arranged a residence for everyone. Please follow me into the sect to rest." Yang Dingtian shook his head and said, "We aren't that arrogant. There is no need to rest. Let's go to the Star Thunder battle platform now." The Star Thunder battle platform was the highest level battle platform in the Azure Thunder Divine sect, where ancient God realm experts could battle. Zhang Guang also said, "Let's end this quickly. We still have to rush back to cultivate." This time, even Tang Qing was secretly angry. What he meant was to finish off Zhongzhong's disciple as quickly as possible and then return to the Firmament Palace to cultivate. "In that case, let's go to the Star Thunder battle platform now," Tang Qing said solemnly. He immediately led everyone to the Star Thunder battle platform. The Star Thunder battle platform was not far from the plaza of the main hall. Soon, everyone arrived at the Star Thunder battle platform. When they arrived, Fan Sheng, Chang Guang, and the rest of the Peak Masters and Hall Masters were already waiting on the main stage. Since this was a spar between ancient God realm disciples, Fan Sheng, Peak Masters, and Hall Masters were all here to spectate. Seeing Fan Sheng, Yang Dingtian cupped his fists. Azure Thunder Divine Sect's Yang Dingtian greets Sect Master Fan. When Fan Sheng saw that only Yang Dingtian and his group of 20 were here, he didn't see the Firmament Palace's Sky Temple Hall Master and the rest of the upper echelons. He asked what was going on and found out that the Sky Temple Hall Master was busy and couldn't make it. Fan Sheng, Chang Guang, and the rest's expressions didn't look good. Busy? It was just an excuse. "Sect Master Fan, since we are here, can we start the spar now?" Yang Dingtian cupped his fists. Fan Sheng's face sank as he swept a glance at Yang Dingtian and the rest. He spoke solemnly, "Since that is the case, let's begin." He then announced the start of the spar between the 2 sections. Yang Dingtian soared into the sky and landed on the Star Thunder battle platform. He looked at Wei Ming, Tang Shuiyao, Fu Pingshan, and Situ Nan and asked, "Who among the 4 of you will go first?" He paused for a moment before asking, "Or will the 4 of you come together?" Among the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's disciples, Tang Shuiyao and the other 3 were the strongest. Therefore, Yang Dingtian locked onto the 4 of them. When they heard that Yang Dingtian wanted to challenge Wei Ming and the other 3, and even wanted them to fight together, be it Fan Sheng, Tang Qing, or the other Azure Thunder Divine Sect's disciples, they were all enraged. Shameless boasting. Wei Ming soared into the sky and landed on the Star Thunder battle platform. "Yang Dingtian, let me have a taste of your skills." Wei Ming spoke coldly and didn't hold back. He condensed all the energy in his body as the ancient God realm's energy surged. The divine world's laws intertwined as the 4 totems flew out one after another. Each of the totems had reached a length of 60 miles. Condensing a totem that was 1,000 feet was already considered a genius to the disciples of the super sections. Back then, the undead race's Wu Li condensed a totem that was over 3,000 feet, which was over 20 miles. He was already considered a genius that the undead race focused on nurturing. But this Wei Ming's totem had reached a length of 60 miles. A totem that was more than 50 miles was definitely a monstrous talent. Wei Ming summoned his totem while his entire body was filled with sword qi. He suddenly blasted a fist at Yang Dingtian. Along with his fist force, the power of the four totems surged out along with the fist force. At the same time, the surging sword intent engulfed the heaven and earth. This is the Thousand Illusion Sword Monument's Grade 11 sword intent. Such a powerful sword intent. Senior Wei Ming's sword intent is probably already at the peak of Grade 11. Buzz. The power that could destroy heaven and earth was blasted in front of Yang Dingtian. Right at this moment, Yang Dingtian's body burst out with radiance as three totems broke through the sky. When the three totems broke through the sky and flew out, the heaven and earth shook. The surrounding mountains of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect shook while the surrounding ground shook. Everyone's expression changed when they saw Yang Dingtian's three totems that were like three giant suns. Each of them had reached a length of 80 miles. To be exact, it was 81 miles. Each of the totems was emitting astonishing flames. The Azure Thunder Divine Sect felt as though they had entered a flaming mountain. At this moment, all the disciples cultivating on the 76 mountains of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect felt the astonishing flame power and the power of the totems. Wei Ming's four totems were actually completely suppressed under the impact of the three totems. Even his peak Grade 11 sword intent was much weaker. Yang Dingtian blasted out a fist. Boom! The two fist forces collided. Wei Ming's fist force collapsed while his peak Grade 11 sword intent was scattered like sand in the wind. A huge explosion echoed in every mountain of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. Immediately after, Tang Shuiyao and the others saw Wei Ming being sent flying like a kite with a broken string. He crashed into the boundary of the Star Thunder battle stage. Fan Sheng was stunned. Tang Qing and the experts present had a change in expression. Chapter 268. Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong's disciples were even more shocked. Wei Ming was one of the four strongest disciples in this generation of Azure Thunder Divine Sect. Everyone could see that Wei Ming had already used his full strength. Not only did he use the power of the four totems, but he also used the peak Grade 11 sword intent from the Thousand Illusion Sword Monument. But he was still sent flying by Yang Dingtian in a single move. Defeated in a single move. Fan Sheng, Tang Qing, Chang Guang, and the rest of the upper echelons had ugly expressions. They didn't expect Yang Dingtian's combat strength to be so high. Everyone could see that Yang Dingtian didn't just have the three great totems, he also had the Golden Flame bloodline, one of the top 10 ancient bloodlines. Furthermore, he seemed to have another bloodline. Even Wei Ming couldn't receive a single punch from Yang Dingtian. Everyone could already foresee the following spar. This might only be a spar between the next generation, but it was also the reputation of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. If all the disciples of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect were defeated by Yang Dingtian in a single move, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect would become the joke of the Chaos Plane. Furthermore, after this spar, the Firmament Palace would definitely spread the news everywhere. Yang Dingtian sent Wei Ming flying with a single punch and stood with his hands behind his back. He stood on the Star Thunder battle stage and looked down on the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's disciples, for totems. Is there anyone else who wants to come down? The Azure Thunder Divine Sect's disciples were silent. Why? No one dares to come down. Yang Dingtian smiled indifferently. Fan Sheng, Zhongzhong, and the rest had an even worse expression. Yang Dingtian looked at Fu Pingshan, Situ Nan, and Tang Shuiyao. I already said that the four of you can come at me together. He then added, the three of you can still make it if you make a move together. Tang Shuiyao turned into a sword light and arrived on the Star Thunder battle stage. She looked at Yang Dingtian calmly. Let me experience young Master Yang Dingtian's brilliant moves. Finishing her statement, her entire body was covered in purplish gold flames. When the flames surged, the Star Thunder battle stage's Star Thunder Chi was actually incinerated. Fan Sheng was pleasantly surprised. Shuiao's Phoenix Divine Cannon has reached the 10th rank. Tang Qing smiled. It seems that you just broke through a few days ago. I just found out about it now. Tang Shuiyao had the Phoenix Divine Beast bloodline, which was not inferior to the top 10 ancient bloodlines. The Phoenix Scripture was one of the top unique skills of the Azure Thunder sect. Only a few people could cultivate the Phoenix Scripture to the 10th level. Oh, the 10th level of the Phoenix Divine Canon. Yang Dingtian was astonished, but he didn't put it to heart. At this time, Tang Shuiyao's 4 great totems flew up. The flames of the 4 great totems illuminated the world. Each of the totems was 70 miles tall, and the power of the phoenix surged endlessly. The 4 great totems flew up and swept out with energy, forcing the chi waves from Yang Dingtian's 3 great totems to retreat. Even the flames around Yang Dingtian's body were suppressed. Sang Leish and Zhongzhong's disciples were excited. Phoenix Slash. Tang Shuiyao gathered flames in her hands and slashed at Yang Dingtian. The power of the 4 great totems roared out. 2 phoenix blades condensed from thousands of feet of flames slashed down. When the phoenix fire blades sliced through the space of the battle stage, the star thunder chi was sliced apart like a piece of cloth. Yang Dingtian's eyes focused. His hands surged with radiance as he blasted out both fists. When his fists blasted out, radiance bloomed like 2 radiant suns exploding. Everyone felt pain in their eyes. This was the Firmament Palace's unique skill, the Firmament Radiance Fist. Back then, when the Firmament Palace's Supreme Elder descended on the Red Mist Mountains and attacked Lu Yiping, he used the Firmament Radiance Fist. The Firmament Radiance Fist was extremely powerful. When the radiance energy was condensed to a certain extent, it was even stronger than many of the divine flames in the world. Even many ancient gods couldn't withstand the radiance energy of the Firmament Radiance Fist. 2 gigantic fists of light met the phoenix fire blades. Boom! The Star Thunder battle stage shook violently. The Star Thunder chi was shaken to the point that it was emptied. Everyone's ears were buzzing. The astonishing chi waves, flames, and radiance exploded in all directions. Even though everyone was separated by the Star Thunder battle stage, they could still feel the terrifying destructive energy. Many ancient God Realm disciples felt their hearts trembling when they felt this energy. If it wasn't for the Star Thunder battle stage's array isolating the shockwaves, many ancient gods would have been injured. Everyone looked over and saw Tang Shuiyao being pushed back and landing on the stage while Yang Dingtian stood tall like a mountain. It was obvious that Tang Shuiyao was at a disadvantage in the previous exchange. Yang Dingtian looked at Tang Shuiyao and said indifferently, "The 10th stage of the Phoenix Canon is not bad. Unfortunately, the totem you condensed is much smaller than mine. Moreover, I have twin ancient bloodlines and have cultivated the Firmament Radiance Fist to the 10th stage, comprehending the Radiance intent. You are still not my opponent." When Yang Dingtian's words left his mouth, the crowd was in an uproar. What? Yang Dingtian actually has twin ancient bloodlines? Moreover, he comprehended the Radiance intent from the Firmament Radiance Fist. Fu Pingshan, Situ Nan, and the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's disciples were shocked. Being born with one of the ancient bloodlines was already shocking enough. Now, Yang Dingtian actually had 2 of the ancient bloodlines. What was even rarer was that he had comprehended the Radiance intent. Fan Xingding, Tang Qing, and the others' hearts sank. But at this time, Tang Shuiyao suddenly sent a palm strike towards Yang Dingtian. When Tang Shuiyao's palm struck out, her entire body emitted a shocking radiance. The purest phoenix energy covered the entire stage. Yang Dingtian was startled and blasted out the Firmament Radiance Fist. Amidst the loud bang, Yang Dingtian was forced to retreat over a dozen steps from the impact. Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong and the others were stunned. Even Fan Xingding and the others were pleasantly surprised. Atavistic Heavenly Phoenix Saint Physique. Yang Dingtian was bewildered. Tang Bin had the Saint Dragon Physique, and the Heavenly Phoenix Saint Physique was a physique that was even stronger than the Saint Dragon Physique. Tang Shuiyao's Heavenly Phoenix Saint Physique had already started atavism and was even stronger. But, so what if it's atavistic heavenly phoenix saint physique? Yang Dingtian sneered and activated the twin ancient bloodlines in his body. In an instant, two shocking forces surged out. Yang Dingtian's body shone brightly as fire dragons coiled around him and black ice swept out, covering heaven and earth. In the blink of an eye, the ground of the stellar thunder battle stage was covered in black ice. Layers of black ice spread out and covered the entire stage. The stellar thunder chi in the air had completely solidified. Even Tang Shuiao felt as if her blood had frozen. All of a sudden, Yang Dingtian blasted out a punch with the power to destroy heaven and earth as it arrived before Tang Shuiao. Tang Shuiao was shocked. She circulated all the energy in her body and slashed out with the phoenix slash. Even so, Tang Shuiao was still pushed back and crashed into the battle stage's array wall. She opened her mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. The entire place was silent. Yang Dingtian stood on the battle stage like an undefeatable god of war. He looked around and said, "Who else?" At this time, Lu Yiping was comprehending the creation jade disc under the creation tree when Tang Bin knocked on the palace door. "Big brother Lu." Hearing Tang Bin's voice, Lu Yiping had no choice but to stop cultivating. He put away the creation tree and walked out. "Big brother Lu, the Firmament Palace's disciples are here to spar today. Let's go and take a look," Tang Bin said. Lu Yiping shook his head. What's there to see? He had to seize the opportunity to comprehend the creation jade disc's Tao and cultivate the immortal sky-wood art. Chapter 269. Just as Lu Yiping was about to return to the palace to continue cultivating, Tang Bin's message talisman vibrated. He took out the message and shouted angrily, "Firmament Palace, Yang Dingtian. What's wrong?" Lu Yiping asked. During the spar, Yang Dingtian was invincible. He even sent Dragon Sword Mountain's senior brother Wei Ming flying with a single punch. Tang Bin said angrily, "My sister was also severely injured by him. He even said that he could defeat all of our Firmament Thunder Divine Sect's disciples alone." Tang Bin pulled Lu Yiping towards the Star Thunder battle stage. "Big brother Lu, let's go." Taurus Longjiao and Che Ziping followed behind. On the way, Tang Bin's tender face was filled with worry. "I wonder how my sister is doing." "Don't worry, she'll be fine," Lu Yiping said. Soon, the Star Thunder battle stage was in sight. At this time, Yang Dingtian was still standing on the Star Thunder battle stage with his hands behind his back. On the stage, Fu Pingshan was also vomiting blood. Fu Pingshan had also been defeated by Yang Dingtian. Fu Pingshan was recognized as the strongest disciple of this generation of Firmament Thunder Divine Sect. However, he was only able to withstand 3 moves from Yang Dingtian. Yang Dingtian looked at Fu Pingshan and shook his head. "Weak, too weak. This generation of Firmament Thunder Divine Sect's disciples are only this strong. Originally, I was still hopeful that there would be a disciple of Firmament Thunder Divine Sect who could withstand 10 moves from me. Unfortunately, he couldn't even withstand 4 moves from me." Yang Dingtian's voice entered the ears of the Firmament Thunder Divine Sect's experts, causing their faces to turn ugly. "Who else wants to fight?" Yang Dingtian looked at the remaining disciples of Firmament Thunder Divine Sect. Firmament Thunder God Zhongzhong's disciples remained silent. Seeing that no disciple of the Firmament Thunder Sect had spoken, Yang Dingtian looked at Fan Xingding and said, "Master Fan, since no disciple of the Firmament Thunder Sect dares to accept the challenge, does the Firmament Palace win? Please announce the result, Sect Master Fan." On the rostrum, Fan Sheng's expression was gloomy. At this time, Tang Bin arrived at the scene with Lu Yiping. Tang Bin saw Tang Shuiao sitting cross-legged on the ground with black frost chi emanating from her body as she recuperated. He couldn't help but rush up to her. "Big sis, how are you?" Tang Shuiao opened her eyes and looked at her brother, Tang Bin. She forced a smile on her pale face. "I'm fine." She had been struck by Yang Dingtian's 2 ancient bloodline powers. One of them was the extreme cold power. She might have consumed the sex elixir, but she would still need some time to recover completely. Upon seeing this, Lu Yiping summoned the tree ginseng he had obtained from the master of Myriad Gods' cave. The golden ginseng, which was tens of meters tall, flew up. When the ginseng flew out, the surroundings became golden from the reference of the ginseng. The ginseng's aura spread out like the sea, and the fragrance could be smelled from 10 miles away. Everyone was shocked and looked over. Even Fan Sheng, Tang Qing, and Yang Dingtian, who was standing on the stage with his hands behind his back, looked over when they smelled the ginseng. Everyone was stunned when they saw the ginseng that was tens of meters tall. Fan Sheng was definitely the sect master of the Azure Thunder Divine sect. He could be considered experienced and knowledgeable, but this was his first time seeing such a tall ginseng. A ginseng that was tens of meters tall. Furthermore, it had turned completely golden. The kind that was dripping with gold. Furthermore, this ginseng had completely transformed into a human form. What kind of ginseng is this? Is there such a ginseng in this world? I saw a 1 million-year-old ginseng king at the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's auction a few years ago. Compared to this ginseng, it was like a little brother. It was unknown if it was because of the ginseng's golden radiance, but everyone's eyes were shining with a golden light. Tang Shuiyao was also stunned. At this moment, the ginseng flew above Tang Shuiyao's head. The ginseng's aura gushed down like a waterfall and poured into Tang Shuiyao's body. Tang Shuiyao's mouth and nose were filled with a fragrance. With the ginseng's aura pouring in, the cold energy in her body dissipated at an astonishing speed. Soon, the cold energy was completely gone. Her injuries were completely healed. Not only did she recover, but she also discovered that her qi and blood had become more abundant, and her vitality was much stronger. She was in a better state than ever before. Tang Bin, who was standing beside Tang Shuiyao, was also hit by the ginseng's aura. His entire body was shining with a golden light, just like a golden child. Seeing that Tang Shuiyao's injuries had healed, Lu Yiping took back the ginseng. Everyone felt a sense of loss. Tang Qing came back to his senses and quickly walked to Lu Yiping. He cupped his fists and said gratefully, "Thank you, Master Lu, for healing Shuiyao." Tang Shuiyao also stood up and walked to Lu Yiping. She bowed and said, "Thank you, Master Lu." "It's nothing." Lu Yiping shook his head. Just as everyone was still trying to recall the appearance of the ginseng, a Firmament Palace disciple suddenly stepped forward and said to Yang Dingtian, "Senior Yang, this kid's surname is also Lu. He seems to be the kid we're looking for." Yang Dingtian and the Firmament Palace disciples were stunned. Immediately, Yang Dingtian understood who the Firmament Palace disciple was talking about. A few days ago, their Firmament Palace's 10 supreme elders were killed by a kid with the surname Lu in the Maha Plain. Later on, they found out that this Lu kid had left the Maha Plain. They had been looking for his whereabouts for the past few days. Yang Dingtian jumped up from the Star Thunder battle platform and landed in front of Lu Yiping. He looked at the blue-robed Lu Yiping and said, "You are Lu Yiping. Are you the one who killed our Zhongyuan's 10 supreme elders?" Fan Sheng of the Azure Thunder Divine sect was stunned. Tang Qing and the others were stunned. Lu Yiping looked at Yang Dingtian and said indifferently, "That's right." Yang Dingtian didn't expect Lu Yiping to admit it so straightforwardly. He looked at Fan Sheng of the Azure Thunder Divine sect, Tang Qing, and the others and sneered at Lu Yiping, "These days, our Firmament Palace has been looking for you. It turns out that you've been hiding in the Azure Thunder Divine sect. Why? Do you think the Azure Thunder Divine sect can protect you?" Yang Dingtian suddenly punched at Lu Yiping. The Firmament Light Fist instantly hit Lu Yiping's chest and said, "Even if you hide at the end of the world, our Firmament Palace can still find you. Die." Yang Dingtian's power roared wildly and shone brightly. Although he didn't use his totem or bloodline, the power of his punch wasn't something an ordinary ancient god with 2 totems could withstand. Fan Sheng and the others didn't expect Yang Dingtian to attack so quickly. It was too late to stop him. Just as Yang Dingtian's fist was about to hit Lu Yiping, something suddenly swept towards Yang Dingtian at an astonishing speed, creating a shockwave. Yang Dingtian and the others looked over and saw that it was actually a little fish. Before everyone could react, this tiny fish had scattered Yang Dingtian's fist force and continued to sweep towards Yang Dingtian's chest with a sweeping motion. Bang! Yang Dingtian shot out at a terrifying speed and smashed into the Star Thunder battle stage. A loud bang resounded, and the Star Thunder battle stage shook violently. The Star Thunder battle stage's aura surged and splashed in all directions. Everyone was stunned and then looked at Taurus Longjiao beside Lu Yiping. Taurus Longjiao patted the little fish in his hand, his head full of shiny golden retriever hair. Chapter 270. Everyone was silent. Holy shit! Tang Bin suddenly shouted, "Big brother Xiao Jin, you're too much." Taurus Longjiao was speechless. What did he mean by too much? Did this little guy miss a word? Fan Sheng, Tang Qing, and the others looked at Taurus Longjiao in bewilderment. Although Yang Dingtian did not use his totem or bloodline, Lu Yiping's subordinate was able to send him flying. This subordinate's strength was no weaker than many of the ancient gods of the 4 great totems. Zhang Guang and the other disciples of the Firmament Palace reacted, and their faces changed when they saw Yang Dingtian being sent flying. "You're courting death!" Yang Dingtian roared. He leaned against the Star Thunder battle stage and struggled to stand up. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and the pain in his chest was so intense that he could barely feel it. "Senior brother Yang." Zhang Guang and the others rushed to Yang Dingtian's side. Yang Dingtian waved his hand and stood up. His eyes were bloodshot as he looked at Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, and then he walked towards Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Light surged from his body, and with every step he took, the light around him grew brighter. Then, his 3 great totems flew out one by one. The 3 great totems were 81 li in size, and flames surged as a shocking pressure swept out. Finally, the 2 great ancient bloodlines in his body were pushed to the limit. Yang Dingtian's body was covered in flames, and they turned into fire dragons. At the same time, black icy chi rolled and condensed into black phoenixes. 2 terrifying forces were emitted from Yang Dingtian's body, suppressing the surroundings. Fu Pingshan, Wei Ming, and the other Firmament Thunder Divine Sect disciples were shocked. Yang Dingtian's aura was much stronger than when he was on the battle stage. Was this Yang Dingtian's true strength? Yang Dingtian's voice was cold. "That's right, I only used 50% of my strength on the battle stage." 50%. Fu Pingshan, Wei Ming, and the others were shocked. Yang Dingtian, who was invincible on the stage, had only used 50% of his strength. Che Changpeng, who was standing behind Lu Yiping, saw Yang Dingtian walking over. He took a step forward and said respectfully to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, "Killing such a junior will only dirty your hands. Let this junior kill him." Everyone was stunned. He looked at Lu Yiping and said, "Lu Yiping, what's the matter? Do you intend to let your slaves fight for you? I heard from the undead experts that you only have 1 totem, but it's shockingly big. I'd like to see how powerful your totem is." When the undead experts returned from the Mahe realm, they told everyone that Lu Yiping's totem was huge, but they did not say how big it was. Firmament Thunder God, Zhongzhong, and the others were puzzled when they heard that Lu Yiping's totem was shockingly big. Could it be that Lu Yiping's totem was 90 miles long? The young master of the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion was recognized as the #1 monster in the Northern Wilderness Starfield. His totem was 99 miles long, and there were only a handful of people with a totem that was 90 miles long. "You want to see my totem?" Lu Yiping asked calmly. "Sure." Lu Yiping's voice came out. Suddenly, heaven and earth shook. The mountains were moving. The earth was moving. Even the sky was moving. No one could stand still. It was as if something terrifying was going to come out from the ground. No, it was as if it came out from heaven and earth. Even the firmament thunder divine sect's ancestral ground was shaking. Inside the ancestral ground, sword ancestor Zhou Kan and the others were comprehending the completed thousand illusion sword formation. Suddenly, heaven and earth shook, and the palace shook. Everyone was shocked and flew out from the palace. What is going on? Sword ancestor Zhou Kan exclaimed, looking at the heaven and earth that was about to collapse. It's as if something terrifying is going to come out. One of the ancestors said in a trembling voice. Just as he finished speaking, a boundless pressure covered heaven and earth. Everyone felt suffocated as if their souls were being suppressed by something terrifying. It was extremely uncomfortable. Then, Zhou Kan, Su Teng, and the others saw an unimaginably huge shadow rising from outside the ancestral ground. As this shadow appeared, the heaven and earth darkened. What is that? Zhou Kan was shocked. The firmament thunder divine sect's ancestors widened their eyes in fear. Su Teng's mind flashed, and he suddenly thought of something. He stammered, This looks like a totem. Totem. Zhou Kan and firmament thunder god Zhongzhong were shocked. Was there such a huge totem in heaven and earth? Who is it? Which immemorial monstrous genius could condense such an earth-shattering totem? Su Teng's voice trembled, and then he said excitedly, Quick, let's go out and see who it is. Su Teng immediately broke through the void, rushing out with his fastest speed. When Su Teng rushed out of the ancestral ground, Zhou Kan also transformed into a giant sword, breaking through the void and rushing out madly. The other ancestors also rushed out in a hurry. Usually, when they encountered strong enemies, they would not be able to escape with such speed. At this time, on the Star Thunder battle stage, Lu Yiping and the Firmament Thunder Divine Sects and Firmament Palace's disciples around him were sent flying by the terrifying shockwaves. Yang Dingtian, who had summoned the three great totems, was sent flying again by the terrifying shockwaves. The three great totems above his head were like kites in a storm, swaying violently, as if they would fall and explode at any time. The fire dragons and black phoenixes around him also stopped spinning, and began to shrink and lose their luster. When all the disciples of the Firmament Thunder Divine Sect and Firmament Palace stopped a few hundred miles away, they looked at the shadow that was as big as a continent. Whether it was Fan Sheng, Tang Qing, Fu Pingshan, Wei Ming, or the other genius disciples of the Firmament Thunder Divine Sect, all of them were shocked. Their minds went blank, and they forgot where they were. Tang Shuiyao's cherry lips were wide open. Tang Bin, this little guy, did not say, what the F***ck. Of course, he had probably said, what the F***ck, many times in his heart. Che Peng, who was standing behind Lu Yiping, looked at Lu Yiping's totem and was also shocked speechless. After 1,000,000 years, he finally saw this ancient miracle again. 1,000,000 years ago, he had seen it before. 1,000,000 years later, he was lucky enough to see it again. Space seemed to have stopped, and time seemed to have slowed down. Yang Dingtian looked at the shadow that was tens of thousands of miles long, and his face turned pale. This is a totem? Was this King totem? Or could it be that what he was seeing was not a totem, but a real totem? At this moment, he finally understood what the undead tribe's for Grand Duke Wu Mei meant when she said that it was shockingly big. While everyone was still in shock, the sound of breaking wind was heard. It was Su Teng, Zhou Kan, and the others who came out of the ancestral land. Su Teng, Zhou Kan, and the others saw the blue-robed figure from afar. Su Teng, Zhou Kan, and the others stopped in their tracks, dumbfounded. Lu Yiping glanced at Su Teng, Zhou Kan, and the others. This glance sent chills down their spines, and they did not dare to move. Lu Yiping's totem suddenly vibrated, and a vast force from the totem blasted towards Yang Dingtian and the Firmament Palace disciples. Chapter 271. Yang Dingtian looked at the terrifying power that came crashing down. In his despair, he frantically activated all the power in his body. Under his frenzied activation, the two ancient bloodlines exploded with unprecedented power. His entire body seemed to be plated with a layer of golden light. The fire dragon flew in the sky, the black phoenix soared in the sky, and the three great totems above his head surged with light, emitting layers of golden flames. The divine flame pattern between his eyebrows shot out a strange light. Yin-Yang Dual Cave Wave. Yang Dingtian roared, his voice rumbling as he blasted out both his fists. As he blasted out both his fists, the fire dragon in one hand and the black phoenix in the other, frantically clashed with Lu Yiping's totem power. The fire dragon's roar shook the sky. The black phoenix cried out Jiutian. One yin and one yang. The two types of power turned into two astonishing light holes, setting off layers of air waves and sand. There was a loud sizzling sound. The yin-yang dual cave wave collided with Lu Yiping's totem power. But in an instant, the yin-yang dual cave wave was instantly dispersed. Then, all the fire dragons and black phoenixes dissipated. Yang Dingtian's three great totems flew up in an instant and then burst apart, instantly turning into fine powder. The law of the god world within the totems also dissipated between heaven and earth. Yang Dingtian almost instantly turned into a blood mist. The other disciples of the Firmament Palace fled in fear, but they were instantly drowned by Lu Yiping's totem power. When Lu Yiping's totem power rolled over, everything on Yang Dingtian, Zhang Guang, and the others turned into fine powder. Even the strongest divine weapons and armors on Yang Dingtian and the others disappeared without a trace. Until Lu Yiping withdrew his totems, the firmament god Zhongzhong and the others were still in a daze for a long time. No one knew when Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Che Ziping returned. After a long time, Fan Sheng looked at the place where Yang Dingtian, Zhang Guang, and the others were crushed. He opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. Firmament Palace. In the heavenly temple, Temple Master Kong was leisurely drinking wine with Yu Shixiang. Yu Shixiang was the third disciple of the unparalleled Sword Emperor and ranked 320th on the divine list. He was also a good friend of Jian Wushuang. Kong Jun said, Dingtian and the others went to the Azure Thunder Divine sect to spar. It should have ended by now. Yu Shixiang said with a smile, don't worry about Dingtian's strength. No one in this generation of disciples of the Azure Thunder sect is his opponent. Kong Jun smiled and said, I heard that Senior Wushuang obtained a secret treasure from the Middle Ages a few days ago. There's a supreme scripture and a million-year-old divine medicine. Senior Wushuang has a chance of condensing 11 totems. Yu Shixiang shook his head. 11 totems. It's not that easy to break through. Even the Northern Baron Prefecture Lord has yet to break through. Then, he smiled and said, however, Master has obtained the supreme scripture and the million-year-old divine medicine. His powers will definitely improve. By then, his ranking on the Northern Wilderness divine ranking will probably rise. Hearing this, Kong Jun cupped his fists and smiled, congratulations, Senior Wushuang. Right at this time, one of the Sky Peak Temple's deputy temple master rushed into the hall in a panic. He said to Kong Jun, Temple Master, something happened to Dingtian and the others. Just now, there was news that Dingtian and the others were all killed in the Azure Thunder Divine sect. The Sky Peak Temple's Vice Temple Master's words stunned Kong Jun and Yu Shixiang. What did you say? Kong Jun reacted and stood up abruptly. He shouted in anger, what happened? Was it done by the Azure Thunder Divine sect? Yu Shixiang also stood up in anger. It's not the Azure Thunder Divine sect. I heard that it was that Lu Yiping. The deputy temple master quickly said. Lu Yiping. Kong Jun was stunned. The Lu Yiping who killed Grand Elder Zhong Yuan and the others? The deputy temple master said, yes, that Lu Yiping was hiding in the Azure Thunder Divine sect. When Ding Tian was sparring with the Azure Thunder Divine sect's disciples, Lu Yiping appeared at the scene. When Ding Tian wanted to kill him, he was killed by him. Kong Jun's face was gloomy. What about Zhang Guang and the others? Zhang Guang and the others didn't escape. The deputy temple master lowered his head. Lu Yiping. Kong Jun's eyes were cold as he clenched his fists. Immediately, several people broke through the air and arrived at the main hall to report to the Firmament Palace's palace master, Qi Daiyu. The Firmament Palace was enraged. Soon, the Firmament Palace's ancestral land was filled with sword-like and dense killing intent. One by one, the ancestors of the Firmament Palace's ancestral land broke through the air and headed to the Azure Thunder Divine sect with Temple Master Kong Jun. The news of the Firmament Palace's disciples, Yang Ding Tian, and the other 20 disciples who went to the Azure Thunder Divine sect to spar and were all killed in the Azure Thunder Divine sect quickly spread. Yang Ding Tian was the most monstrous disciple of the Firmament Palace in this generation. He had 81 totem tattoos, 2 of the top 10 ancient bloodlines, and comprehended the light ultimacy. However, he was killed in the Azure Thunder Divine sect. Almost all the super forces in the Chaos Plane were shocked and they heard the news. I heard that the one who killed them was a young man called Lu Yiping. He wasn't a disciple of the Azure Thunder Divine sect. A few days ago, Zhong Yuan and the other 10 disciples of the Firmament Palace were also killed by Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping. What's his background? I don't know, but a few days ago, he spent 30 trillion heaven-grade spiritual stones to buy a batch of stones from the Horizon Chamber of Commerce. The president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce and Old Jiang personally delivered those stones to the Azure Thunder Divine sect. I also heard that he took out more than a dozen buckets of Star Chaos water. There are 300,000 drops of Star Chaos water in each bucket. He used 4 buckets of Star Chaos water to exchange for 2 jade plates with Old Jiang and Sword Ancestor Zhou Can. As the news of Lu Yiping killing the Firmament Palace's Yang Ding Tian spread out, the news of Lu Yiping purchasing stones, tree blocks, and jade plates with the president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce, Old Jiang, Sword Ancestor Zhou Can had also spread out. Immediately, the Chaos Plane was in an uproar. One had to know that Star Chaos water was something that every super sect needed. However, Star Chaos water was too scarce. Usually, it could only be found in auctions. Every time there was an auction, there would be a fierce competition. Now, Lu Yiping had so much Star Chaos water on him. More than a dozen buckets of Star Chaos water, wouldn't that be 3 to 4 million drops? After knowing that Lu Yiping had so much Star Chaos water, many experts rushed over to the Azure Thunder Divine sect. Of course, most of them had ulterior motives. At this moment, Lu Yiping was sitting cross-legged with Taurus Longjiao in the Star Moon Peak Palace, cultivating under the founding tree. After the founding tree had fused with the tree blocks that the president of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce sent over a few days ago, it had grown to over 2,200 meters. After the Buzhou Mountain had fused with the Buzhou Mountain Stone, it had grown to over 100 meters. In the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestral land, Su Teng, Sword Ancestor Zhou Can and the other patriarchs were sitting together, discussing Lu Yiping's matter. Lu Yiping had killed Yang Ding Tian, and the Firmament Palace would definitely be infuriated. A large number of experts from the Firmament Palace would definitely arrive soon. Should the Azure Thunder Divine Sect continue to allow Lu Yiping to stay in the Mountain Gate, or should they politely ask Lu Yiping to leave? A large number of experts from the Firmament Palace would arrive, and it wasn't a small matter. Chapter 272. In the Chaos Plane, the Firmament Palace ranked 3rd, while the Firmament Thunder Sect ranked 6th. In terms of strength, the Firmament Thunder Sect was much weaker than the Firmament Palace. For example, the Firmament Palace had the 10 totems, but the Firmament Thunder Sect did not. Ancestor, it's not worth offending the Firmament Palace for Lu Yiping. An ancestor of the Firmament Thunder sect shook his head. Besides, Lu Yiping has nothing to do with the Firmament Thunder sect. He's just a guest. If we offend the Firmament Palace by protecting him, Lu Yiping might just leave at any time. Su Ting frowned. This was exactly what he was worried about. If they continued to let Lu Yiping stay in the Firmament Thunder sect, they would inevitably offend the Firmament Palace. What they feared the most was that after they offended the Firmament Palace, Lu Yiping would leave, leaving a mess for them to clean up. Sword Master Zhou Can said in a low voice, Master Lu is not that kind of person. If he wanted to leave, he would have done so long ago. Since yesterday, Master Lu has been staying at the Starry Moon Peak. Obviously, he is worried that the Firmament Palace will vent their anger on the Firmament Thunder sect. Besides, Master Lu has such a terrifying totem. It's a miracle since ancient times. Such a person will become the supreme overlord of the Star River in the future. It's worth offending the Firmament Palace for him. Su Ting's eyes flickered. Suddenly, Su Ting's letter charm vibrated. He took it out and saw that it was from Fan Sheng. His face changed slightly when he saw the content. Sheng Ding just said that the 30 ancestors of the Firmament Palace have left the Firmament Palace with the Celestial Temple Master Kong Jun. They are heading to the Firmament Thunder sect. Su Ting said. Everyone was shocked, 30 ancestors. They had expected the Firmament Palace to send a large number of experts, but they did not expect the Firmament Palace to send 30 ancestors. Su Ting nodded. The leaders are Yuan Jinhua and Qin Jiucheng. Yuan Jinhua and Qin Jiucheng. Everyone's face changed. Even Sword Ancestor Zhou Can's expression turned grave. These two were ancient gods of the 9 great totems. Furthermore, the totems they condensed were all 70 miles long. Both of them were ranked in the top 20 of the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking. Yuan Jinhua was ranked 25th on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking. Qin Jiucheng ranked 28th on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking. Who would have thought that the Firmament Palace would send 2 ancient gods of the 9 totems, who were ranked in the top 20 of the Northern Wilderness Divine list? Normally, such existences would not make a move, but now, 2 of them had come at once. This showed the anger of the Firmament Palace. Old Ancestor, please make your decision. All the old ancestors looked at Su Ting. Su Ting looked in the direction of Xingyue Peak and said slowly, Junior Brother Zhou is right. It's worth offending the entire Firmament Palace for Master Lu. Since Su Ting had made the decision, the matter was settled. The other old ancestors of the Firmament Thunder sect could not say anything. After a while, Su Ting came to Xingyue Peak and met with Lu Yiping. He told Lu Yiping about Yuan Jinhua and Qin Jiucheng leading a group of old ancestors of the Firmament Palace. Then he said, Master Lu, don't worry. You can stay here. The Firmament Thunder sect will do our best to protect you. When the time comes, we will deal with the people of the Firmament Palace. Taurus Longjiao heard this and smiled. Actually, we don't need your protection. My master is very powerful. Su Ting shook his head. Master Lu's totem is indeed the only one of its kind, but it is only a totem after all. No matter how strong Lu Yiping's combat strength was or how strong his totems were, he could not be strong enough to defeat 9 totems. Lu Yiping smiled and didn't say anything. Su Ting sat for a while longer before leaving. Lu Yiping did not take the arrival of the 30 old ancestors of the Firmament Palace to heart. He continued to comprehend the good fortune jade disc and cultivate the immortal sky with skill with Taurus Longjiao. Of course, there was also the longevity incantation. As he continued to collect the good fortune jade disc, Lu Yiping felt that there should be a 50th level of the longevity incantation. When all 24 good fortune jade discs were collected, the mental cultivation method of the 50th level of the longevity incantation would appear. If the longevity incantation broke through to the 50th level, he would not be afraid even if the heavens and earth were destroyed. While Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were cultivating, more and more experts heard that Lu Yiping had a large amount of star chaotic water and rushed over. In the main hall of the undead tribe, the tribe leader of the undead tribe, Wu Ming, was sitting with a group of old ancestors. Sitting in the middle of the hall was the strongest old ancestor of the undead tribe, Wu Zhen, who had one of the 10 great totems. In the chaos dimension, the firmament palace ranked third and the undead tribe ranked fourth. Wu Zhen scanned the old ancestors in the hall and said, "I have already sent people to investigate. The news that Lu Yiping has a large amount of star chaotic water on him is true. A few days ago, he used 4 barrels of star chaotic water to exchange for 2 jade discs with old Jiang and Zhou Can. After that, he took out 10 barrels of star chaotic water and placed them in front of everyone. At that time, many experts of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce saw it clearly. According to many experts of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce, Lu Yiping definitely has more than 10 barrels of star chaotic water on him. He might have 20 or 30 barrels. Maybe even 50 or 60 barrels." At this point, Wu Zhen stopped and became somewhat agitated. If Lu Yiping had 60 barrels of star chaotic water on him, what kind of concept would that be? A small amount of star chaotic water was useless to the undead tribe. However, if the undead tribe had dozens of barrels of star chaotic water, their overall strength would definitely increase by a level. "What do you mean, old ancestor?" An old ancestor asked cautiously. Wu Zhen said in a low voice, "Wu Li is a genius cultivated by our tribe. We spent a lot of money and manpower to cultivate Wu Li, but he was killed by Lu Yiping. No matter what, Lu Yiping should compensate us with dozens of barrels of star chaotic water." Of course, compensation was just an excuse to attack. Wu Ming, the chief of the undead tribe, was silent. He said, "Ancestor, this Lu Yiping's totem is a miracle of the ages. If we go against him, once he matures in the future, he will be a disaster for us." Hearing this, Wu Zhen laughed, "Do you think that since I have made up my mind, I will let Lu Yiping live?" Everyone's heart trembled. "But what about the Firmament Palace?" an old ancestor asked. Wu Zhen said in a low voice, "We can join forces with the Firmament Palace. After killing Lu Yiping, we will equally divide the star chaotic water on Lu Yiping's body." Therefore, after a while, the old ancestors of the undead tribe flew out of the undead tribe's headquarters and headed towards the Firmament Thunder sect. The Firmament Palace sent out 30 old ancestors, 2 of whom had 9 totems. As for the undead clan, they sent out a total of 40 ancestors, and 4 of them had 9 totems. On the way, the Firmament Palace experts and the undead tribe experts met. After some discussion, the Firmament Palace experts and the undead tribe experts joined forces and headed towards the Firmament Thunder sect. Chapter 273. Other experts who were on their way to the Firmament Thunder sect soon learned that the undead tribe and the Firmament Palace had joined forces. Meng Lin, the patriarch of the Demon Gathering sect, frowned. "The undead tribe and the Firmament Palace have joined forces?" The Demon Gathering sect was the 7th most powerful sect in the Chaos Dimension, specializing in demon clan cultivation techniques. Meng Lin was the 2nd most powerful expert in the Demon Gathering sect, a master of the 9 totems. Blood Flame Demon Master, who had been killed earlier, was his best friend. Knowing that Lu Yiping had a large amount of star chaos water, many experts rushed to the Firmament Thunder sect. Naturally, the Demon Gathering sect wanted a share. "Patriarch, what should we do now?" A Demon Gathering sect hall master said, "If the undead tribe and the Firmament Palace join forces, the Demon Gathering sect won't even have a share." Indifferent, Meng Lin said, "I heard that the Stone Bone sect, the Gory Sea sect, and the Ghost Temple are also here, right?" The Demon Gathering sect hall master was stunned. "Yes, what do you mean? Since the undead tribe and the Firmament Palace can join forces, why can't the Demon Gathering sect join forces with the Stone Bone sect, the Gory Sea sect, and the Ghost Temple?" Meng Lin smiled evilly. The undead tribe and the Firmament Palace want to join forces and take Lu Yiping's Star Chaos Water for themselves. No way. Although the Stone-Bone sect, the Gory Sea sect, and the Ghost Temple were not among the top 10 superpowers in the Chaos Dimension, they were not weak and ranked in the top 10. Even the undead tribe and the Firmament Palace would not dare to ignore their joint forces. Meng Lin immediately contacted the patriarchs of the Stone-Bone sect, the Gory Sea sect, and the Ghost Temple. Then, he gathered the experts of the Stone-Bone sect, the Gory Sea sect, and the Ghost Temple. Although the Demon Gathering sect, the Stone-Bone sect, the Gory Sea sect, and the Ghost Temple did not have as many experts of the 9 totems as the Undead Tribe and the Firmament Palace, each sect had 1 expert of the 9 totems. Therefore, the 4 sects had 4 experts of the 9 totems. However, there were more than 40 experts of the 8 totems of the 4 sections. There were about 400 to 500 experts from the 4 great sections. Along the way, their demonic aura soared to the sky. Some other scattered masters who were rushing to the Firmament Thunder sect saw the masters of the 4 sections. Their faces changed greatly, and they stayed far away. Meng Lin, Zhuang Bai, Hu Na, Ling Shi. All 4 of them were notorious demons. I didn't expect the Devil Gathering sect, Stone-Bone sect, Cult of the Blood Sea, and Ghost Fiend Hall to come as well. Meng Lin, Zhuang Bai, Hu Na, and Ling Shi are here in person. A super sect's patriarch exclaimed. A one-armed elder watched Meng Lin and the others leave and said, the Firmament Palace, the Undead Tribe, the Demon Gathering sect, the Stone-Bone sect, the Cult of the Bloody Sea, the Ghost Killing Hall, and even some hidden evil sections. I'm afraid the Firmament Thunder sect is in danger this time. An old ancestor who had a grudge against the Firmament Thunder sect sneered, I heard that the Firmament Thunder sect has already announced that they will protect Lu Yiping. I think the Firmament Thunder sect is courting death. In the ancestral land of the Firmament Thunder sect, Su Teng, Zhou Kan, and the others turned pale when they learned that the Undead Tribe and the Firmament Palace had joined hands. How many Undead Tribe members are here? Su Teng asked Fan Sheng. Fan Sheng braced himself and said, there are 40 patriarchs of the Undead Tribe. 4 of the 9 totem patriarchs are here. What? 4 patriarchs of the 9 totem patriarchs. The patriarchs of the Firmament Thunder sect were shocked. And Wu Tong is here. Fan Sheng's voice trembled. Wu Tong. Su Ting's face darkened. Wu Tong was the second strongest expert of the Undead Tribe. His strength was only below Wu Zhen's. He was already at the peak of the 9 totem patriarchs, and his strength was not below Su Ting's. Wu Tong just said that if we let Lu Yiping go, he will kill 10,000 of our core disciples, 1,000 elders, 100 grand elders, 10 temple masters, and 10 peak masters. Fan Sheng hesitated and said. Everyone was furious when they heard this. The Undead Tribe is too arrogant. Does he think that our Firmament Thunder sect is a persimmon that he can pinch at will? An ancestor said angrily. At this time, another ancestor rushed in and said to Su Teng, Ancestor, the Intelligence Palace just reported that in addition to the Firmament Palace and the Undead Tribe, the Demon Gathering sect, Stone-Bone sect, Cult of the Blood Sea, and Ghost Temple have joined forces and are rushing to our Firmament Thunder sect. Moreover, the 4 major sects of the Demon Gathering sect have also sent 4 of the 9 totem patriarchs and more than 40 experts of the 8 totem patriarchs. Su Teng, Zhou Kan, and the others were shocked. In addition to the 4 major sects of the Demon Gathering sect, there are also many experts of the evil sections. They are all hidden devils. The ancestor said. Su Teng took a deep breath and his face was unprecedentedly solemn. He scanned the crowd and said, pass down the order, activate the sect protection array. Everyone, come with me to meet the enemy. Xingyue Peak. Lu Yiping, who was cultivating under a tree, heard a series of hurried knocks outside the palace. He had to stop cultivating and walked out with Taurus Longjiao. Brother Lu. Outside the door was Tang Bin. Tang Bin said anxiously, "You and brother Xiao Jin, run. The experts of the Firmament Palace and the undead tribe are almost here. My father asked me to come and tell you to run." Lu Yiping asked with a smile, "Where's your father?" Tang Bin said anxiously, "My father, my sister, my mother, and all the disciples of the Xingyue Peak have gone out to meet the enemy. There's a passage behind the Firmament Thunder sect's ancestral land. We can leave through that passage." Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, "Leave through the passage? Why do we have to leave through the passage?" Then he smiled and said, "Your brother Xiao Jin has been through tens of thousands of battles, if not hundreds of thousands, and he has never escaped." Lu Yiping said with a smile, "Let's go out and have a look." Then he walked out of the palace with Taurus Longjiao and Che Ziping and left through the air. Tang Bin was stunned and hurried to catch up. "Brother Lu, this time the undead tribe and the Firmament Palace have sent 9 great totem ancient gods. The Demon Gathering sect, the Stone Bone sect, the Gory Sea sect, and the Ghost Temple also sent 9 great totem ancient gods." Taurus Longjiao patted the little fish in his hand and said with a smile, "There are only 10 of them. So few." Then he asked, "Are the 10 great totem ancient gods not here?" Tang Bin was stunned. It was already noon, and he found that Taurus Longjiao's figure seemed to be emitting a golden light under the sun. The golden retriever on his head seemed to be brighter. While he was in a daze, Lu Yiping and the other 2 had already gone far away. He hurried to catch up. At this time, outside the Firmament Thunder sect, the experts of the Firmament Palace, the Undead Tribe, the Demon Gathering sect, the Stone Bone sect, the Gory Sea sect, and the Ghost Temple had all arrived. In addition, the experts of other sects and some evil sects were also gathered together. For a moment, the starlight surged, the undead chi filled the air, and the demonic chi filled the sky. Wu Tong of the undead tribe looked at Su Ting expressionlessly and said, "Su Ting, Lu Yiping is not someone your Firmament Thunder sect can protect. Hand him over." Then he glanced at the experts of the Firmament Thunder sect and said, "Otherwise, the Firmament Thunder sect will flow with rivers of blood and mountains of corpses." Chapter 274. Blood flowed like a river. Corpses piled up like mountains. Wu Tong's cold murderous intent swept through the area. The aura of one of the 9 great totems made everyone's heart tremble. Wu Tong was one of the 9 great totems. He had condensed 99,990,000 divinity laws. He was undoubtedly one of the strongest people below the 10 great totems ancient gods. He was ranked 14th on the Northern Wilderness Divine list. No one dared to treat his words as a joke. Su Ting looked at Wu Tong and said in a low voice, "Master Lu, we will not hand him over. If you want to fight, let's fight." Wu Tong's eyes flashed with a black light. Firmament Palace's Yuan Jinhua said coldly, "Stubborn. Su Ting, how much did that Lu brat give your Firmament Thunder sect? Was it 5 barrels of Star Chaos water or 6 barrels? Do you think it's worth it to sacrifice the lives of the Firmament Thunder sect's disciples for a few barrels of Star Chaos water?" Suddenly, there was a commotion in the crowd. "Lu Yiping!" Someone shouted. Wu Tong, Yuan Jinhua, Chen Jiucheng, Meng Lin, Zhuang Bai, Hu Na, Ling Shi, and everyone followed the expert's gaze. They saw several figures approaching from the direction of Xingyue Peak. The one in the lead was a handsome young man in a blue robe. Behind the young man, there was a golden-haired robust man and an elegant middle-aged man. The other person was a little child who looked like he was carved from jade. Lu Yiping and the others arrived in front of the crowd in the blink of an eye. "Bin, you." Tang Qing wanted to reprimand his son, but Lu Yiping said, "We wanted to come. It has nothing to do with Xiao Bin." Lu Yiping's gaze fell on the experts from the Undead Tribe, Firmament Palace, Demon Gathering Sect, Stone Bone Sect, Cult of the Gory Sea, and Phantom Temple. "You are Lu Yiping." Wu Tong's gaze was indifferent. "You have some guts. Did you kill my undead tribe's disciple, Wu Li? Lu Yiping didn't answer. He said indifferently, kill him. Before the crowd could react to Lu Yiping's words, Che Ping suddenly moved behind him. Che Ping took a step forward and went out of the Firmament Thunder Sect's protective grand array in an instant, arriving in front of Wu Tong. Che Ping punched out. The power of the fist was light, as if it didn't have much power. Everyone was surprised to see Che Ping attacking Wu Tong. Wu Tong was undoubtedly the strongest among them. Even Su Teng was only ranked 16th on the divine list. Now, Lu Yiping's subordinate had actually dared to attack Wu Tong. Indifferent smile appeared on Wu Tong's face when he saw Che Ping's fist flying towards him. Reckless fool. He didn't even summon his totem. Instead, he met Che Ping with a punch. Boom! A loud explosion shook the heavens. When their fists collided, Wu Tong's expression changed drastically. This is... Just as this thought flashed through his mind, he felt an unimaginably terrifying force crash into him, and his entire body was sent flying. Wu Tong crashed into several undead tribe ancestors behind him and crashed into a mountain range in the distance. The mountain range shook with loud rumbles. Rocks flew everywhere. The trees in the mountain range were blasted into powder. Wu Tong himself crashed into the mountain range's belly, rushing forward. Looking at him, it was as if there was an earth dragon burrowing into the mountain's belly. Loud rumbles continued, shaking the earth and mountains. Finally, Wu Tong stopped at the end of the mountain range. But the rumbling continued for a long time. Everyone was dumbfounded. The Firmament Palace and undead tribe experts who were arrogant just a moment ago were dumbfounded. The experts from the Devil Gathering Sect, Blood Sea Cult, Stone Bone Sect, and Ghost Fiend Temple paled. Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the rest of the Firmament Thunder Divine Sect's experts were also looking at the elegant Che Ping in disbelief. Even if Wu Tong didn't use his totem's power, being able to send Wu Tong flying with one punch was not something an ordinary nine-great totem ancient god could do. At this time, Su Teng, Zhou Can, and the rest couldn't help recalling Lu Yiping's words when he made a deal with Wan Zhen and Old Man Jiang a few days ago. So, he was really an expert. Wow! Finally, Zhou Bin's cry broke the dead silence. Yuan Jinhua of the Firmament Palace looked at Che Ping and opened his mouth. Who are you? His voice was hoarse and filled with unconcealable shock. Although he also had 9 great totems, he was only at the late stage of the 9 great totems. Compared to Wu Tong, there was still a big gap. Right at this moment, Wu Tong, who had been blasted to the end of the mountain range, broke out of the mountain range and soared into the sky. Everyone looked over and saw that Wu Tong's divine armor was broken in many places. Blood trickled down the corner of his mouth, and his hair was disheveled. Wu Tong looked at Che Ping in shock and anger. Suddenly, he opened his mouth and spat out another mouthful of blood. Everyone was shocked. Lord Wu Tong. A group of undead experts flew up and came to Wu Tong's side. Wu Tong pushed the crowd aside, and his aura surged. The God World's laws flew out from his body, and each of them was more than 10 meters thick. As the God World's laws flew out, the totems flew out one after another. Each totem was close to 80 miles long. The 9 great totems shone brightly. A terrifying undead aura swept across the land. Feeling the terrifying pressure coming from Wu Tong's body, everyone retreated in fear. Die! Wu Tong roared. He took a step forward and punched at Che Ping. The 9 great totems shone brightly, and their power merged with Wu Tong's fist force, striking at Che Ping with an earth-shattering momentum. Watching the gray flames coming out from Wu Tong's fist, everyone's heart trembled. It's the undead tribe's strongest divine flame, the undying gray flame. This undying gray flame was said to be able to incinerate everything in the world, and nothing could stop it. Su Teng, Zhou Can, and other experts watched Wu Tong's furious attack with fear in their eyes. Everyone held their breaths. Earlier, Wu Tong did not activate his totems, and was injured by Lu Yiping's subordinate due to his carelessness. Now, could Lu Yiping's subordinate withstand Wu Tong's ultimate attack? Tang Qing and Tang Shuiyao were also holding their breaths. Even the little guy Tang Bin was nervous. Che Peng's face was indifferent looking at Wu Tong's powerful punch. He no longer concealed his aura, and a power that was more terrifying than Wu Tong's burst out. Boom! In an instant, heaven and earth rumbled. Space trembled. Before everyone's eyes, the divine world's laws flew out from Che Peng's body. In an instant, starlight filled the sky, and each strand of divine world's law was 100 meters long. It was 10 times bigger than Wu Tong's. Following the divine world's laws, Che Peng's totems flew out one after another. 1, 2, 3. In the end, a total of 9 totems flew out. Each of the totems reached 120 miles long. A 120 miles long totem. Everyone was shocked. One had to know that the most monstrous genius of this generation, the Northern Wasteland Divine Manor's young lord, only had a totem of 99 miles long. Just when everyone thought it was over, suddenly, another totem flew out. This totem was exceptionally dazzling, like a golden sun that illuminated heaven and earth, slowly flying out. 10 Great Totems. Chapter 275. Everyone looked at the slowly rising 10th totem, their faces filled with shock. 10 totems. Lu Yiping's subordinate was not at the peak of the 9 great totems, but the strongest ancient god with 10 totems. At first, when Che Peng sent Wu Tong flying, everyone thought that Che Peng was only at the peak of the 9 great totems. 10 totems. Su Teng was stunned. He had been stuck at the peak of the late stage of the 9 great totems for many years, unable to break through to the 10th totem. Although the 10th totem was only half a step away from the peak of the 9 great totems, the difference was like heaven and earth. Once one broke through to the 10th totem, they would be called the strongest ancient god, meaning the strongest ancient god. Because to break through the shackles of the divine world's laws and break through to the 11th totem, like the northern wilderness starfield, it was hard to find even one in several generations. Therefore, the 10th totem was already the strongest ancient god. Even Wu Tong, who was using the undying gray flame, was shocked when he saw the 10th totem rise behind Che Peng. 10 totems. Just as Wu Tong was shocked, Che Peng punched out. Heaven and earth trembled. Everyone's heart seemed to twitch. Starlight exploded. Countless stars flew out. For a moment, everyone felt like they were in a world of falling stars. The stars scattered Wu Tong's undying gray flame and blasted through it. Countless stars blasted towards Wu Tong. Almost instantly, they were in front of Wu Tong. Wu Tong roared. His immortal force surged madly, and the undying ashen flame burst out from his body. At the same time, he activated all the defensive formations on his divine armor. But it was useless. When the countless stars blasted on his body, the undying gray flame on Wu Tong's body exploded, and the defensive arrays on his divine armor exploded. Wu Tong was blasted away. As the countless stars blasted on his body, Wu Tong was blasted away again and again. Every time a star blasted on his body, Wu Tong's divine body would explode a little. When the countless stars blasted on his body, Wu Tong's divine body, which was blasted out of the mountain range, exploded into countless pieces of flesh and blood. The 9 great totems also exploded, and all the laws of the divine world were broken. Everyone looked at the scene in shock. A peak late stage of the 9 great totems was blasted away by a single punch. At the same time, everyone found it hard to believe that Che Peng could destroy Wu Tong with a single punch. Although the ancient gods of the 10 great totems were known as the strongest ancient gods, it was almost impossible for them to blow up a peak late stage 9 great totems with one punch. What kind of absolute art was that just now? Some of the patriarchs recalled Che Peng's absolute art of stars that filled the sky and asked stutteringly. Although Che Peng's battle prowess was astonishing, half of the reason he was able to blast Wu Tong apart was because of the terrifying power of his star fist. Just now, the countless stars bombarding Wu Tong's body was equivalent to a 10 great totem ancient god continuously bombarding Wu Tong's body. Therefore, even if Wu Tong was a 9 great totem ancient god, he was still blasted apart. A peak late-stage 9 great totem warrior could withstand a 10 great totem warrior without dying, but he could not withstand the continuous bombardment of a 10 great totem warrior. The undead expert was stunned. Che Ziping and Wu Tong had acted too quickly just now. Moreover, Che Ziping had blasted Wu Tong apart with one blow. Therefore, even if the undead experts wanted to intervene, they couldn't. Che Peng looked at the undead clan and the Firmament Palace experts, still elegant. However, after killing Wu Tong with one blow, Che Peng did not attack again because Lu Yiping had only asked him to kill Wu Tong. When the undead clan and the Firmament Palace experts saw Che Peng stop, they were both frightened and relieved at the same time. Just when everyone thought it was over, Lu Yiping said indifferently, "Kill them all." Everyone was shocked. The undead clan and the Firmament Palace experts were furious. Lu Yiping, although you have 10 great totem warriors by your side, our undead clan and the Firmament Palace ancient gods can still kill you if we fight to the death. Yuan Jinhua said angrily. Indeed, although they couldn't hurt Che Peng, one of the 10 great totem warriors, they could still kill Lu Yiping if they fought to the death. Although Che Peng was one of the 10 great totem warriors, he couldn't protect Lu Yiping in the face of so many 7 great totem warriors and 8 great totem warriors. At the same time, Yuan Jinhua shouted to Meng Lin and the other dark sect experts, "If Lu Yiping's men kill us, you can't escape either. Let's join forces." Meng Lin and Zhuang Bai of the Stone Bone sect looked at each other and flew to the undead clan and the Firmament Palace experts. After seeing Che Peng's terrifying battle strength, they also felt that only by joining forces with the undead clan and the Firmament Palace could they survive. Indifferent to the undead clan and the Firmament Palace experts, Che Ziping smiled when he saw the Demon Gathering sect, Stone Bone sect, Gory Sea sect, and Ghost Evil Hall experts join forces with the undead clan and the Firmament Palace. The 10 great totem warriors broke through the sky and shone brightly. He took a step forward and punched toward the undead clan and the Firmament Palace experts. When he punched out, the starry sky appeared again and countless stars flew out. Moreover, this time, the number of stars shooting out was countless, several times more than before. The undead clan, the Firmament Palace, and the Demon Gathering sect experts were shocked to see this. Seeing this, Yuan Jinhua roared, "Everyone, let's fight to the death. We must kill Lu Yiping at all costs." Saying this, he bypassed Che Peng and rushed toward Lu Yiping. Fighting the 10 great totem warriors head-on was courting death. Therefore, he wisely chose to kill Lu Yiping first. "Lu Yiping, if that's the case, then let's die together." Yuan Jinhua's face was ferocious as he roared, "Before I die, I'll kill you first." In an instant, he arrived in front of Lu Yiping. Looking at the incoming Yuan Jinhua, Taurus Longjiao shook his head and smiled. Just as he was about to attack, Lu Yiping said indifferently, "No need." A majestic aura shot out from his body. This majestic aura towered above the heavens and covered the world. Lu Yiping punched out with a finger. Buzz! A strange buzzing sound came from the space. As Lu Yiping punched out with his finger, a beam of light pierced through layers of space, piercing through the center of Yuan Jinhua's fist. It then pierced through the divine armor on Yuan Jinhua's body and pierced through his heart. Yuan Jinhua stood there stiffly. He felt the surrounding sound suddenly become softer. He looked down at his chest and saw that there was a huge hole in his chest where his heart was. Rays of light were constantly emitting from a huge hole. The rays of light were madly destroying his divine body and destroying his vitality. He looked at Lu Yiping in disbelief. Didn't they say that Lu Yiping only had one totem? The undead clan and the other experts of the Firmament Palace who were rushing towards Lu Yiping also stopped. They looked at Lu Yiping with eyes full of horror. Su Teng, Zhou Kan, and the others who were about to stop the undead clan and the Firmament Palace also stopped. Everyone looked at Lu Yiping. So you're also one of the 10 great totem warriors. Yuan Jinhua's voice was hoarse. 10 great totem warriors. Lu Yiping's face was calm. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.